I'm also the head of business development for VSC. I'm going to be talking about crypto today a bit, about VSC, about the problems we're facing, and the solution that VSC is supposed to be. So if you're going to remember one thing about this presentation that I'm about to hold, is that VSC essentially is Hive reaching out to the wider crypto ecosystem. It's bringing the Hive community to the wider crypto ecosystem. It's bringing the crypto ecosystem to Hive. So, to begin, nowadays blockchains function in many ways as isolated islands. A lot of them have their own wallets, their own identities. A lot of them have their own token standards. If you want to access an application on another blockchain, or you want to receive a transaction from another blockchain, someone that wants to send you, they either have to create their own new identity on your blockchain, you have to move to theirs to do the same thing. Essentially starting from scratch, building a new identity, a new wallet, and such goes on. So you need a new identity for Bitcoin, a new identity for Ethereum, a new identity for Solana, for Hive. That's not ideal for many reasons. It's akin to having to download a new internet browser every time you want to visit a new website. For us that have been in crypto for a long time, we're kind of used to it. We're kind of used to the friction that exists. For new users that have been on Web 2 for a long time, this is not something they're facing in their everyday lives when they're using the internet. In many ways, Web 2 has dealt away with the core issues of user experience. When it comes to the user experience in crypto, the problems that it faces aren't tied in many aspects to the front-end experience. They're not tied to the interfaces. Those are getting to a certain level of quality on their own ways. They're tied to, the bad user experience is tied to the core fundamentals of how cryptocurrency ecosystems function. They're tied to the core experience. Now, you could ask the question, well, why is that? Crypto has been here for more than a decade. Why hasn't this been addressed? Why hasn't it been fixed? You could say one of the reasons would be inward focus when it comes to development instead of outward focus. You could say it's because of focus on short-term growth, short-term gains, instead of long-term sustainability. You could even say it's because of crypto tribalism. Crypto tribalism, basically saying, why use their blockchain when you should be using ours? Why develop a solution for a user that is going to hold a token that's not the token that I hold? That's kind of the mentality currently prevalent when it comes to development, when it comes to investment with VCs, even the communities. If you try and enter some of the Discord of these communities, you're gonna feel this type of crypto tribalism if you ever mention something that's not related to their blockchain. Of course, there are some bridge solutions that exist, wrapping and so on. They also face another problem, and that's centralization, of course. They either are entirely and completely centralized. We're talking about 60, 70, 80% even of these bridge solutions are entirely centralized or have small operator sets. That creates a single point of failure, which is a problem. There are also some cross-chain solutions that have some potential that are coming up, are being developed. But even saying that, the current total activity on blockchain, taking that into account, only 1 to 2% of that goes on to these bridge solutions. So they're not a rounding error, but they're not too far off of being a rounding error. And when I'm talking about this type of bad design, you have real examples of hacks and failures of these bridges. Even though they account for a tiny % of the total activity in blockchain, some of the biggest hacks, biggest losses in crypto history happened on these bridges. For example, the Ronin bridge, Wormhole, Nomad. And I would even invite you guys that are, maybe you're not as technical as some people here, looking into how poorly these were designed. You would be shocked, even as a layperson or a newbie, how bad some of these solutions were. skip one. No, okay. Beyond the security issue, they also have another problem. That problem being their business plan. It's not about connecting ecosystems. It's not about bringing interoperability or dealing with liquidity fragmentation. Their business model is based around asset capture, basically grabbing liquidity and locking the user in on their own blockchain. So even if they do call it bridging solutions, they basically continue the same problem that existed before. In summary, so I just want to mention a few cross-chain solutions that actually have some potential. For example, Thorchain that uses the Rune token, or Chainflip. In relation to VSC, we kind of take a similar approach to one of aspects of their functionality, that being the cross-chain swap system. But we take it to the next level, essentially acting as an evolution of what they're offering when it comes to these solutions. In summary, the problems crypto today is facing: liquidity fragmentation, bad user experience that's tied to crypto fundamentals, lack of interoperability, and centralization or poor bridge design. So, finally getting to VSC. For the sake of time, because this could go on for a long time, I'm going to break down the functionality of VSC into three kind of bullet points. The functionality is much wider, expansive. We could even throw in the liquid staking for HBD in there, but just focusing on these three for the time being. So first of all, it's smart contracts. Secondly, cross-chain swaps. And thirdly, kind of the new technology that we're pushing forward that's based on cross-chain swaps, essentially expanding what the technology behind cross-chain swaps can do. Smart contracts pretty standard offering when it comes to blockchains currently in the market, or L2s, how you want to call them. The difference here being that this is the first time a decentralized solution has existed when it comes to smart contract deployment on Hive. They're fully customizable, and we're going to have it ready in a couple of weeks' time. We currently have one of our developers writing the documentation, so inside 2 weeks you will be able to deploy your own smart contract on VSC. You'll be able to deploy your own token. That has a lot of implications for a lot of different apps on Hive, and I've been talking to some of you guys about some of the ideas I might have for some of your tokens. That's the easy part. So when it comes to cross-chain swaps, this is a significant functionality being added to Hive. You could, again, kind of split the type of users that exist in relation to this functionality into three kind of parts: users, collateral providers, and liquidity providers. Those are kind of the participants in the ecosystem when it comes to this functionality. For users, what they do is they're the ones that actually commit the transactions, that do the trades. The advantage for them is in being able to completely avoid the custodial systems, the intermediaries, completely avoid wrapping. We use native assets. They're exogenous to VSC. They exist on the main nets. So for example, when you commit a trade, you're essentially locking, if we take BTC as an example, you're locking Bitcoin in a vault on the Bitcoin mainnet. The Bitcoin is then routed through the liquidity pools on VSC and exits on the other side. For example, if it's Ethereum, the Ethereum wallet address is going to receive ETH that's native to Ethereum chain. When it comes to collateral providers, this is kind of tied to the security aspect that I discussed in the first part of the presentation. Collateral providers essentially secure the whole protocol. They're the ones that over-collateralize all the liquidity and all the assets that come into the VSC protocol. For each dollar of liquidity, $1.5 worth of Hive is used to over-collateralize all assets coming in. What this does for the security aspect is, even if one of the validators is compromised, the user funds or the security or stability of the whole protocol is not affected in any way. Even if you had a single malicious validator that wanted to steal user funds, they would not be able to because of the economic security attached to it. They would be losing more money that they would be getting from taking the liquidity. So that's kind of dealing away with the problem that all these wrapping providers, wrapping solutions, custodial providers had. So if you want to run a validator node, it requires 2,000 Hive as a start, and you will be securing the protocol. Thirdly, we have liquidity providers. When it comes to liquidity provision, it's important to mention two ways that we are distinct from currently legacy existing solutions in the crypto market. Firstly, we use a single asset as the base asset in all trading pairs. What this does is essentially allow us to have much less liquidity pools than these legacy solutions need. For example, if you had 100 assets being listed on VSC existing in liquidity pools, you would need only 100 liquidity pools. So one liquidity pool for Bitcoin, one for Ethereum, and so on. With these legacy solutions, you would need around 5,000. So you would have to pair up Bitcoin with Ethereum, Ethereum Solana, and so on. In this scenario that I just gave you, there's about 50 times more efficiency in this type of system. And as the number of assets goes up in number, the efficiency of the whole use of liquidity increases. The second advantage, which would be kind of advantages over our current competitors, is using a stablecoin as the base asset in all pairs. When you use a stablecoin, you're kind of only exposing the liquidity provider to one-sided volatility. They only need to think about the exposure to price action from one side, which it's not, in this case, kind of, you wouldn't call it an advantage or disadvantage, just kind of giving liquidity providers a new choice, new option. So in the case of VSC, you wouldn't be able to have a scenario happen like with Thorchain a couple of months ago, with the fail of Thorfi and their lending side of protocol, where liquidity providers lost on both sides of liquidity provision. Yes. So some of you, even though I rambled on about how this works and everything else, might ask, what does this do for Hive? I'm not going to talk about what it does for the price. Nobody knows what's going to happen to the price, but I could talk a bit about the actual demand. So you could have, you actually have demand drivers from three sides. From the side of actually getting trading fees in. Each trade creates some kind of fee, that being in Bitcoin or Ethereum, etc. That fee is then sold. That Bitcoin or Ethereum is then sold for HBD. The liquidity providers and the collateral providers receive HBD as the fee. So you could say in a way that as the volume rises, there's more buying pressure for HBD as well. And we all know if there's not enough HBD in the system, you have to buy Hive and then convert it into HBD. Secondly, if you're generating fees, there is demand for more liquidity in the system. For each dollar liquidity that you bring in, for example, in Bitcoin, you need $1 of HBD. If the demand rises, again, you need more HBD, you need to convert more Hive into it. And thirdly, since it's all over-collateralized with Hive tokens, the higher the liquidity in the pools is, the higher the collateral needs are as well. So those three kind of levels on where the demand drivers will come from. There we go, next slide. Yes, now to go on the third functionality, that being native asset mapping. This is kind of the evolution, as I said, of the technology that exists with cross-chain swaps. What this actually is, it allows different blockchain wallets to hold tokens from whatever other blockchain. So for example, you could, which is currently in action, hold Hive tokens, HBD tokens inside a MetaMask wallet address, inside Ethereum wallet address. You will have a scenario in a couple of months. We're launching the first pools in about a few weeks. You will have a scenario where you would connect a Solana wallet and send Ethereum tokens to a Bitcoin wallet address. This is virtually unheard of, and it completely avoids the system that these centralized solutions currently use. The way it functions is basically the exact same way. Each of the tokens that you bring onto VSC or coin is over-collateralized, just like with the cross-chain swaps. Each of them is secured with Hive. So again, if the user base increases, if people find use in what we're offering, this will expand as well. Implications of this technology are far and wide. So first of all, it goes back to the user experience. If you're using a system like this, you're completely abstracting the complexity of crypto use. A new user will not have to even understand that you cannot send tokens between blockchains. They would not even need to download any wallet. They will just use the one that they are used to, the interface they're used to, whichever they want to use. Maybe they want to use a Bitcoin wallet address. That will be the identity they will be able to connect to VSC with. Let's not jump to the next page. You could also see implications when it comes to remittances, when it comes to merchant payments. We've all heard about payment solutions that exist that all these other blockchains are bragging about. They still require you to use their own token. They still require you to use their technology. You will have a situation by using VSC where a merchant will be able to receive a payment in whatever token they want, or the buyer will be able to make a payment in whatever token they have, whatever wallet they have on their phones. A lot of things there. Most of this stuff we cover in our blog on PeakD that you can read more about. Now, you might also ask, what's the ecosystem participation incentive? Why would I want to be a part of this? Beyond this being a cool little project, Lil, on, on Hive. There are incentives that exist, of course. Validators, collateral providers, they get 33% of APR. That's coming from deployment of all HBD inside the protocol. This is also tied into the liquid staking for HBD that we also built out, which allows you to use HBD in a liquid manner, have it participate in DeFi, being able to put it inside liquidity pools while it's still generating the 15% per year APR. That's kind of tied to this. Secondly, liquidity providers earn fees, and we have a token slated to launch in 2026. The white paper for that will be out very soon. We will mainly be rewarding participants in the network and contributors, so look out for that. And if you guys have any questions, I could go on for another 15 minutes. That's going to be it from me right now. Thank you.
Yeah, a talk without a question from Sorin. Could it be?
It could be. We cannot allow that. Thank you, Damir. Very interesting. First question to start easy. Will it be EVM compatible, Solidity interpreter?
The compatibility is we're still discussing that. What we're focusing on is wallet interoperability.
Start again.
What we're focusing on right now is wallet interoperability, getting tokens into these different wallets. I think when it comes to EVM compatibility, that's not going to be the focus of the smart contracts, but in other terms, yeah, that's something that will be available soon. EVM is slated for, I think, November or the end of October. That's going to be the first integration after the Bitcoin liquidity pools and the Bitcoin forks. That's coming very soon, in a couple of weeks. Second question.
Okay, this time you are allowed to have 2 questions.
Thank you, thank you. That was the échauffement, how do you say, the warming up. Huh? It was the easy question. Now the hard question. This sounds awfully complex, even to me. I before your presentation, I thought I was an expert. Now I didn't get anything from what you're saying. So that was just the opening. First thing is it a proprietary closed solution? I guess no. What do you have planned in terms of marketing? Because we're talking about how important marketing is. This sounds like an amazing technological breakthrough, but it's completely, I'm going to use a rather, let's say, colloquial French term, and I don't want to translate it, but the French term is imbitable. Look it up. Yeah, what do you have planned in terms of marketing? And related to that, would you come to Luxembourg to present VSC?
Yeah, well, we're not currently at the stage where we will be kind of focusing on user acquisition. Once these liquidity pools launch, we're gonna be doing this through integrations with different crypto wallets and aggregators. So we're going to be using the same approach that the other cross-chain solutions like Thorchain and Chainflip are using. The plan is to kind of undercut their fees a little bit just to get attention early on. So that's going to be the way we're going to approach getting people using our product early on. After that, we're going to see what happens. We're already trying to use some of the ideas that I presented here and implications of this technology to kind of give options to certain applications on Hive, some of them on Hive Engine, some of them not, to connect to these other ecosystems. I mean, I might even share something right now about world mapping. It's just a preliminary discussion, but just to give you an idea of what it's possible to do using this infrastructure. Once we connect to Solana, VSC essentially becomes an L2 for each chain that it integrates with. So currently it's an L2 for Hive. It's going to become an L2 for Bitcoin, an L2 for Solana. You will be able to connect your Solana or Phantom wallet to VSC and be able to interact with smart contracts from the application. So if you use a proof of brain system on your world mapping or in Leo or PeakD application, a Solana user will have access to that just as much as a Hive user. A Bitcoin wallet, an Ethereum wallet will be able to click vote, will be able to own the token that you own, access to the whole ecosystem. So this creates a lot of benefit for any application that builds on VSC due to the access to liquidity from all these different chains.
Hi. I know he can go on for a little bit longer. You have a question?
Yes. I'm very curious. You're saying that everything turns into, or VSC turns into a layer 2 for any of the chains you just mentioned, including Hive. And then all of a sudden the question to my mind popped up. Connecting it to the token launch of the VSC token, are you guys planning on sticking with Hive, or is Hive the launch pad with this nice DAO funding? And then, hey, let's use VSC token as the new collateral, and all the benefits you just mentioned are poof out of the window? Just curious.
This question needs to get a little answer. If you could do it short, it would be lovely.
Yes.
Yes or no?
So I know the presentation was a bit long, but if you noticed, I mentioned at a point what this does for the demand for Hive token. So each of these things, when you connect all these different blockchains to VSC, everything is routed through Hive and HBD. So if you bring one Solana token into VSC, you need $1.5 worth of Hive for it. So this will always remain as such. So collateral providers. Yes, in terms of dollars. So you can see, I mean, Hive isn't a one-trick pony. So there's demand from other side. If this takes off, if this has a user base, this has demand, the effect on Hive demand and Hive token price. Yeah.
Hi. I know this topic could have an own event. We will talk about this later.
He didn't answer my, would you come to Luxembourg for an event?
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
When?
Yeah, we'll discuss
Yeah, whenever they are live and so on. But nevertheless, I know you are the next speaker.
Am I?
Yes? But we will give you a minute to set up. We will give everyone a minute to stretch the legs, to be fully awake when Sorin will explain whatever he is doing with Offchain.
Yes.
have to have a bunch of questions for him.
Yeah, get back at me. Take revenge for the many questions I've asked. So, hello everybody. Happy to be here today. I'd like to start by extending a special thanks to Detlev for having organized this. And looking forward to having a continuing collaboration with Aachen, with Detlev, perhaps with other people around Germany, because this is actually just the second of 3 presentations. You had, thanks to Sonia, in the morning, you had a word about our vision for Plaza.lu, which is a response to something deeper. So I'll start my presentation, well, first by saying a few words about myself. So my name is my Hive name, Sorin Cristescu, and I've joined Steam back in 2017 when I was researching lots of blockchains. I happened to work for the European Commission, and I was asked by then by my hierarchy to look into what blockchain technology could do for Europe. And so I set up a blockchain competence center, and we started looking with various degrees of closeness to all the blockchains that were back then in CoinMarketCap. So we took CoinMarketCap from the top down, and we said, okay, is this blockchain open source? Is this blockchain something that does it have a design goal that makes sense for the functioning of Europe? And also, is this blockchain, let's say, really decentralized, or is it controlled by a third party? In which case, of course, it would have been eliminated. So, of course, we didn't. We immediately excluded Bitcoin because it was peer-to-peer cash system, nothing to do with anything that the institutional setting is concerned with. And of course, we stopped immediately at Ethereum, and it was on our short list. But then we continued down, and we did first a long list, and then we ended up with a short list. And on the short list, there was also Steam for various reasons, namely the fact that it links ownership of a document to a given author of that document. And that was something that was of interest because there are a lot of documents in the working of the European institutions. And yeah, we need to track how those documents are, by whom they are owned and how they travel. But this is history now. I wanted to start with something provocative, is that, don't throw tomatoes at me because it's just a speech trick. I don't care about Hive. Okay, what I care about is the fact that I've been witnessing the fact that our societies are crumbling and that we are going from bad to worse. We lose trust in one another. We've seen that in 2016 with Brexit and with the first mandate of Donald Trump. And as we progress, things are not going better. They are actually going worse. And I have a real fear that we might be heading toward a big global conflagration, a World War III potentially. And this is a thing I care about because I have children. And so when I started researching blockchain back in around 2013, 2014, no, unfortunately, I did not buy Bitcoin back then. I had an academic interest in blockchain, and I realized that it is a technology that can rebuild trust between people and can potentially support applications that can help heal the society. The society that is currently being torn apart by all kinds of divergent forces, and Damir has mentioned crypto tribalism. This is something. This is something that comes from human nature, deep human nature. We are tribal in nature, And so, because I care about the society, I studied blockchain, and I discovered that something like Steam as a technology is the best we have, is the best blockchain. And then the whole saga with the takeover happened, and I looked a little bit closer at governance aspects, and I said, good, so now Hive is the best blockchain that we have. So this is why I'm here. It's not because I have a particular, let's say, emotional attachment to Hive. I have an emotional attachment to the state of the humankind with the way we interact with each other, with the way we care about each other or we don't care about each other. And rationally speaking, Hive is the best blockchain. So because of that, I said, okay, what I want to solve is the problem of society. Therefore, I do not need to focus on Hive, but I need to focus on the problems that we have in society. And so I look at that and I said, okay, let's try to apply blockchain to the current society as it is. And I said we need an organization to seed this process of healing through interactions, through meaningful relationship. And as it happens, I got keenly aware of the disconnect between how complex blockchain is and the normal people, the normies, what we call the normies. Okay? So I said, let's bring blockchain later into discussion. Let's hide the complexities of blockchain and focus on community, focus on interactions. And I got the opportunity to learn about this organization that is called Offchain. It's a global organization with chapters in 78 cities. And that is at its core something very basic, very human in a sense. It's people getting together, having beers, and discussing crypto and blockchain, right? So I said, oh, let's actually not create because it had been created and then mothballed because the founder had left. Let's revive Offchain Luxembourg. So I organized an event, got into contact with the people that were animating Offchain Global and say, oh, wonderful, if you want to take up and develop again Offchain Luxembourg, we are here to support you. So this is something important. You have a support network all over the world. That is, you don't need to imagine something very big, but it's small help with creating posters, with spreading the word in social media, stuff like that. That for someone like me, I was starting alone, it was quite exactly what I needed. So I started Offchain as what I call a decentralized human organization. I had a problem with the idea of a decentralized autonomous organization because in autonomous organization, well, people from crypto and blockchain assume that behind the interactions are directed by smart contracts. And to me, I have to admit, I'm not a big fan of smart contracts. I think we need human interactions and human negotiations rather than the rigidity of code. So I said, let's do a decentralized human organization. And then there was a second thing that was on my radar, and it was concerning me. It was the interaction between the world of blockchain and the world of law. This all happened during the years when the European Union was bringing forward the markets in crypto assets regulation, also known as Regulation EU 2023-1114. And I was wondering, okay, this regulation is supposed to offer legal certainty, to support innovation, to protect consumers and to ensure financial stability. But to my mind, it is not really that easy to both regulate, meaning providing legal certainty, and support innovation. For me, supporting innovation is not legislating. If you legislate, you are going to put constraints and you are going to almost necessarily stifle innovation. So is it really possible to support innovation and offer legal certainty? Well, let's find out. So I tried to, first I presented, in our first event, I presented Mika to the people who attended the event, and then I invited people to come and try out with me what is possible to do with blockchain inside the framework of Mika regulation. So as you see here, a small animation, the blockchain and the law are separated by a river. And on one side, you have the blockchain that has been, let's say, brought to the attention of the world thanks to Bitcoin. And on the other side, you have the laws. You have in Luxembourg, well, we have in Europe, the European Union treaties and secondary legislation. And in Luxembourg, we have the Luxembourgish local law. And then the second generation of blockchains like Solana, Cardano, or Ethereum have come a little bit closer to the law because they are a little bit more centralized, and also they support applications that somehow, one way or another, they kind of need the legal enforcement. And then from the legal world, you have now Mika. But what's in between? There is currently very little to almost nothing in between finishing the last part of this bridge. So yeah, on the blockchain shore, you have cryptocurrencies that facilitate free collaboration without the need for legal entities. But if you want to produce a coin, which is, let's say, still one of the biggest applications that are on blockchain, that run on blockchain technologies, we have coins and we trade coins and we transfer coins and we stake coins and whatever. In order to comply with the legislation, you must be issued by a legal entity. Meanwhile, Offchain Global, so this is something that I would like to draw attention to people here in Aachen. It's an unincorporated association, so it's not a Verein. It's a real, like a grassroots community, people coming together, drinking beer and discussing crypto and blockchain under a banner. So there are some logos. There is a branding. There is a way to connect to in the mind of people to other such groups all over the world, and actually it works. And again, I'm coming here. I'm talking to the tech people. Marketing is important. Why? I have a friend. A little anecdote. I have a friend who is a tech guy. And he said, I went last year to Bali. There was a Solana conference or whatever. And he was trying to make friends with other people to connect in the ecosystem and stuff. And he was presenting himself as, oh, hi, I'm Julian. I'm from, he was saying different names of different crypto projects that he was involved with. And the others was blanks there. Never heard of that. And at some point, it crossed his mind. And he said, from Offchain Luxembourg. Oh, Offchain, I know that. There is an Offchain Bali, and there is an Offchain Kuala Lumpur, and there is an Offchain there, and an Offchain somewhere there. So just to underscore the importance of brand and marketing, right? So we said, okay, we are going to try to bring people together. Again, the main point is creating meaningful social and economic links thanks to this technology, links that would not have been possible without. So on the law shore, we are a Verein now. We incorporated what is called in French and Belgium an ASBL, a non-profit organization, an association sans but lucratif, meaning that we are a non-profit. And on the blockchain shore, we use Hive in order to publish and be transparent. One of the issues that I'm a member of many Vereins, of many ISBL, of many non-profits, and one big issue is the issue of trust, because there is a bank account and people contribute to that bank account, but only the people in the board decide what they can do with the money. And this is kind of toxic in the long term because people say, oh, I pay membership fee, but I don't get a say I get a say into electing the board, but then the board does whatever they want with my money. Right? So here we have no bank account. Our bank is the Hive blockchain. And here I would like to come back to what Damir said. Blockchain is not a one-pony trick. Forget blogging. No, I'm provocative. Don't forget blogging. But blogging is not the only thing that Hive does. We use Hive as a bank. Our treasury is on Hive in HBD. Okay? So, yeah, we don't have a bank account. We use Hive as a bank. So yeah, we have an official registration with the Luxembourg Business Register, and on the blockchain shore, we have our statutes that are in a block in the Hive blockchain. So what do I mean by decentralized human organization? Uncoerced collaboration, okay, so meaning that people can join and collaborate without being forced by anyone. We are tokenized and bankless, meaning that we account for the work of people in our own token that Sonia mentioned, that is OCLT, Offchain Luxembourg token, meaning that if you do an hour of work for us, we are not going to offer you euros because we don't have euros, remember, no bank account. But we are going to offer to compensate your work with our token, OCLT. You believe in it or not? If you believe in it, you are going to be willing to do work for us. And as you can, for the Hivers, you can go, for instance, on the Hive Engine Explorer, and you enter token OCLT, and you get the rich list of token OCLT, and then you see who has OCLT tokens. And these are two sources of OCLT tokens, either people who made Euro contribution, actually HBD contributions to the association, or people who have done work and have been paid in OCLT for the work that they have done for our association. So we have an innovative governance model with weighted voting using stake tokens, which is not like a full plutocracy like in Hive, where the more Hive you have staked, the higher your vote. Here it's a lot more democratic, where you always get one vote for being a human, for being a person, because this is the strength of a local community, the fact that we meet physically and we know each other, and this builds trust. And then the tokens that you have staked are weighted with a constant. Doesn't matter. It's described in a governance post. And we are organized in nodes, like teams who decide and manage resources autonomously. And we are proudly transparent, where decisions are public on the Hive blog. And in financial management, the operations are public in various wallets that start with OCL or OCLN. So we are incorporated, as I said. We have to have, because of the law, a centralized board of directors. We have statutes. We have to have that, and the number, and yeah. Okay, so we said, okay, community is essential. Let's create and foster a sense of belonging to a community, but that remains like empty words. We need an actual goal. I've already went over my time. I'm sorry about that. I took too long. So we said our first goal, practical objective will be to do the first MiCA compliant token offering in Luxembourg, perhaps in Europe. So we went forward, and first of all, while we aim for being a multi-blockchain strategy, we start with Hive because it has a number of advantages. And this is where it's interesting for the Hive community, is that basically we prove by A plus B that Hive is the best blockchain. We have already started our token. It's live on Hive Engine. And we had several tries to launch the OCLT tokens on other blockchains, but they all stalled because all the other blockchains have fees, and someone has to pay the money, and they are not sure whether it's worth it or not. and they are procrastinating and prevaricating, and in the end, no one really took it into their hands to say, okay, I'm going to launch OCLT on whatever, on Ethereum or on Solana or whatever, because they need to pre-finance that, and they are not sure about it. So whereas on Hive, we are already live and everybody can, so we actually onboarded lots of people in Luxembourg thanks to this initiative. So this is where doing something that is not focused on Hive, it's focused on community, on events, on other things that I can talk at length about it later on, can bring people actually to Hive, not necessarily to blogging, because blogging is a very, let's say, niche occupation. Not everybody likes blogging, but all people need, for instance, to record the fact that they've done a service to somebody else in a way or another. And any blockchain can do that, but Hive is just the best. Okay. Well, so we have a website. We've started doing marketing. We do mainly on LinkedIn. I invite you to follow us on LinkedIn if you will. And we do education. We have 2 courses, and this brings more people into blockchain, into Hive, and also brings us some revenue to the association. Okay, and we have a MiCA compliant white paper. Anyone wants to explore and play with that, do not hesitate to contact us. And the governance, and that's it. Thank you. Sorry for taking too long.
Sorin, you know, we now have around 22 questions regarding your talks, but we do this later.
Thank you.
I don't know about the weather in Luxembourg, as it might be too much sun in Kuala Lumpur, where we will meet again, I heard. You might have something
Thank you.
against the rain in Luxembourg, or whatever use you might find. And there are some magic stickers. I will tell the story later on. Works, perfect. And greets to all the people in the stream. I just had a little bit chit chat of what's going on there. So it's working again. Louis did a good job. Now we come from all the technology things we just discussed to a different topic. And we need around 2 minutes until Michael will be ready with his talk. So this gives you again a little chance to get something more to drink, or some breads are still there, or fruits or something like this. But remember, cake is on the way. I should have a secret message to you. The small, tiny, delicious salads are waiting in a fridge to be found by someone who like to have salad. Kill it, kill it. Have all, but keep the glasses. We reuse them, so we are very eco-friendly here. Michael is dressing up because he will talk a little bit about some community stuff. Let me prepare his slides. explain a little bit what's going on with Berlin Rebels. And these are not the guys from Kreuzberg or Neukölln. This is something totally different about sports and community, and why we still have a lot of community activities, or even more, on Hive. Michael, can you see anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as we start with our, no, I'm too loud for the microphone.
No, the stream needs to
hear you. So we start with our fan song. So I say something and you answer please back. So it's Berlin Rebels. Berlin Rebels. Berlin Rebels. Berlin Rebels. Berlin Rebels. Thank you so much. So please, I take. So now you can see me better, and I can see you. All right, my name is Michael. I'm from Berlin, and one of my parts in life is to support the Berlin Rebels. We are an American football team in Berlin, founded 1987, so it's a long time ago. We started, and we play in the GFL. The GFL is the first Bundesliga for American football. And I will talk about a little bit on what we're doing on football, and what the idea with Detlev and with the help of Detlev was to found a community on Hive for Berlin Rebels. And if you like, you can follow us at Berlin Rebels. That's the account on Hive. Who knows American football and the rules? Okay, a little bit. Yeah, it's a complicated sport, but it comes more and more popular in Germany and especially in Europe. The American Super Bowl final watched by 3 million people in Germany, just in Germany. It's over 1 billion in the world, but it's around about 3 million in Germany. We are organized, like all Vereine in Germany, organized by the AFAD, the American Football Organization in Germany, and we have 60,000, nearly 66,000 members in Germany, where all the Vereine or the teams are organized and all the officials. So the GFL is the highest league in Germany. We have it divided from north to south, and 16 teams played in the north and 16 teams played in the south. And at the end, we have playoffs, and the winner, it's the German Bowl. It's held in Leipzig this year, and I think about around in October. And then we, hopefully, the Berlin Rebels will win this year. But it's a game, and that's the point where we have to find new communities. And one of our ideas was to go to Hive. And that's what we talked about, how we do it. And my start was this year to found the Berlin Rebels account, and started this season with posting some topics on what our game days are, what the next games, what happened, and some play things on the Hive community. I also try to do some videos, and that's the first point. It's not really easy to post videos on the Hive community. Our sports lives from the emotional things. If you see people crashing into another or throwing the ball, that's the point what people want to see. So therefore, it's okay with pictures, but it would be better with videos. All our games in Germany would live stream, and we can use the content afterwards to put it on other social media platforms. At the moment, yeah, we do a lot of Instagram, we do some Facebook and some LinkedIn a little bit. But I think the Hive would be the best platform for those kinds of sports if you find the right people on the community. And therefore, we talked also a little bit earlier, how easy is it for a football fan to join the Hive community? If they in the stadium have drunken 3 beers and they say, hey, there's a Hive community, I would attend and would post my content. It's not easy. And that's, I think, we all have to work if we want to do this more and more, that it must be easier for people who want to join the communities to attend to the Hive platform. So, and the things I like to do in this year or maybe in next year, to get all the teams from the GFL and maybe from the second league, the GFL2, to have an account on the Hive platform. That's the first step. The second step is our league and the Verband, I don't know the English word for Verband. Yeah, has also an account on the Hive community. So then they can support the teams, the team can support federation. And then if we produce a lot of content, we are maybe able for the fans to join the community. And then they can follow their teams, they can follow the content, can vote us, and this would help us because we are amateurs. We are not founded by any money from other. We only founded monies from people who love to our sports and say, I give you some money that you can play. And the range in the German area is from the best teams get 1.5 million euros per year, and the lowest teams get 100,000, 200,000 euros. But at the end, some companies and some people behind that spend the money. So, and that's the point, we need more sponsors for doing better jobs because the players want to have money, everything would be expensive, so we need more sponsors. And maybe we can generate some money for our team on the Hive platform. That's true. So that's what we think, and maybe I need your help, your ideas from the community. What can help us? What can we do to build an American football community in Germany? That's our main market, because we want to have the people coming in the stadium and feel the action and feel the fire. So that's what I want to discuss with you guys. What can we do and what must we do to build an American football community on Hive? Thank you. And if somebody like a picture with me, we can later on have a picture with me on the shield here. Yeah?
The idea was actually born quite a while ago, as Michael told me what the issue is with all this American football stuff. And we had a few chats about this, but not yet a clear vision on how to deliver. And therefore, we like to just squeeze out your brains, maybe some more ideas or even some stories where you know it doesn't work. So some kind of guidance to bringing American football in Germany to the next level on Web3. So from there, thank you for the dress. I'm sure some people like to have a picture with you in front of the stuff, and we have another 5-minute break before we go with the next speech. And Andre is already preparing, there, some stuff. Yeah. Halt! Microphone.
Not that I understand anything of tokens, but have you ever thought about giving out a token, football token?
Yeah. Yes, that was what we discussed with Detlev in before. Maybe it was a good idea to have an American football token in Germany, but I think that's maybe the third or fourth step, because I think from what I know, it's very complicated to do that. Okay?
It's very easy to do it. You have a token tomorrow, but you need a value and something more behind it. I think Sorin has a question. Okay.
So if you want to offer to the public Berlin Rebels Mika compliant token, it's very easy, just ask me.
Okay.
But the value is that the value of fandom, right? You invite people to support your team by buying your token. So you want to raise money, you invite your fans to buy for even €5 or €10 or whatever they can afford to buy your token for that. And they get something in return. They get the token and they can trade the token and perhaps it's going to the moon. Who knows?
I think our next speaker already comes
He has a
with a
question.
question. Yeah, always, always. Yeah. Andre.
It's very easy. It's very easy. Usage is the key. And yes, you're right with the token, but nobody wants to buy a token. I want to help the team. And the usage is the currency. If you come up with an idea and hey, I can vote for a color of the next bus of the rebels, that's the usage. That's the key for me to buy maybe a token. That's the key. Usage. If you have a usage idea for the participants, then you have your solution. Very easy.
Okay, first ideas are born. Now picture time for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Mach das Mikro mal an. Hast du talk in the morning. Now we get his second one.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Emotion. Emotion. Emotion, yes. Yeah, me again. And the second part is I have built up 2 companies, my own companies, to have the idea to bring real world assets to life or make real world assets a little bit more secure. And I have 2 use cases today for you to bridge these things, and maybe it's always, or it's all an idea for the Hive community, because we talk about marketing, we talk about products, we talk about community, and I'm sure you're totally aware about that. Outside this room, there are other blockchains, other communities. There are maybe much more growing faster than Hive. Why is that? I see, or no, different. What is RWA or real world assets in real life? Real world assets is a tokenization of physical products. And physical products, maybe, and I have 2 here on my booth. First, we can talk about alcohol or not. I met a distillery guy in Paris, and he asked me, hey, is it possible to make physical products in digital products? And, yes, for sure. Why not? I make an NFT, I write a smart contract, and we build it up then, and we bring it to the internet, and someone can buy it. The problem is, okay, that's technology. The other hand is it a business model? For sure not, because we need a huge community, we need huge environment, we need people that are traveling around the world, make sales to bring up these digital products and the physical products to life. And that's not the easiest way to bring up or make a new idea of these things. And he asked me again, okay, what can we do? In which community, what is the biggest community with the huge brand actually of the world? And I'm an OG in Bored Ape Yacht Club. I was very early there. And I told him, yeah, maybe it's a good idea to make this on Apechain. And he bought a mutant, not an ape, and asked the community, hey, is it possible to have money for that? And it's similar like Hive. They make a business process there to bring up this to life. And I can show you today what we make there. The idea was to make an official Guinness World Record with the largest gin tonic of the world. And this, in a very unique way, in the Grand Palais in Paris, with more than 5,000 people together as community event. That was the idea. A little bit crazy, but the idea was to bring up people to life, the community to life, make a physical product, and then sell the physical product via NFTs to the community or to other people and bring the money back to the community. That was the idea. 2 years ago, that was the first start of this crazy thing, and we met us in Paris, and he gives me a bottle of gin and said, hey, taste this gin. I tasted gin, and it was not good. It was not the best gin. Yeah? I took many tonic in there, and then, okay, I said, yeah, maybe it's a good idea, but it's not the best gin. He goes back to the distillery in Poland, make another gin, come back and say, hey, that's the good gin, and that's the way that we can go to bring up this to life, this crazy thing, by bringing up to life. And I ask him again, what is the price for that? Because we have the gin that must be produced, we need a community, we need the place, we need many, many things around that, plus sales, plus marketing, and so on and so on. And the price tag was $250,000 for that, to bring up this to life. And $250,000, okay. I ask him again, hey, is it possible you have it? No. Maybe we can ask the community. Okay. And yeah, we asked the community with a DAO support, a decentral autonomous organization. Is it possible to make this crazy thing? To make a marketing event in Paris with more than 5,000 people, to fill up gin and tonic, bottle with bottle with bottle, in a huge, huge, huge glass bottle, and then fill it out, make cans, and then sell it to communities or sell it to retail stores. And the community said, no, not with us. Because $250,000, yeah, it's a cool marketing event, but no, not really. It doesn't do that. We don't support you, and no. Okay, we go back and ask us again, what can we do? What is the value behind that? Okay, we have a cool marketing event. But the value is, if we make videos, if we have a TV team there, if we make YouTube videos, if we go to X and spread it out over the world, and the cool thing is, Snoop Dogg is holding this world record of the largest gin tonic. That was, I think, 1,800 liters gin tonic. And we write via X a very interesting post to Snoop Dogg. Hey, guy, fuck off. We break your record. Snoop Dogg doesn't understand. But this post, after that, brings up the community to life. Maybe it's a good idea to challenge Snoop Dogg. And maybe Snoop Dogg is coming to Paris and see that, and so on and so on. And this was the starting point to see, okay, we can streamline, we can bring up this community to life over the world. That was the first starting point 2 years ago. And then we ask again the community, hey, we need $250,000. And the community say, maybe yes, we vote on that. The voting runs roughly 1.5 months, and we win the voting with 53%. We need the half. It was not easy because it was a very political thing, very political. We asked many, many OGs in this community to have, or to get this money, because we travel to Singapore, we travel to Paris, we travel to US and ask the person on the table, hey, support us or not. It was very, very hard work to bring up these OGs to our table. 1 year. After the voting, we win that. We produce the gin, or not me, my friend, produce the gin. More than roughly 5,000 liters, and bring 5,000 liters alcohol to Paris. That was the next challenge, because you need, you need a concession there to bring up alcohol to another country. And then you fill it up in this country with tonic water. That was the next thing. What kind of tonic water? We asked Thomas Henry, hey, do you support us? Yes, they support us. They bring up roughly 9,000 bottles of Thomas Henry to this booth. 9,000. I have pictures. Wait a second. And then we make a very, very large, 2 meters high, 1 meter, 1 meter, 2 meters high, glass cube to fill up the bottle by bottle by bottle in this glass cube. We have 6.5 hours, and we do that on the NFT Paris. And we have more than 4,000 people there and bring up bottle by bottle. But if I have the bottle in the hand and fill it up in this glass cube, I'm now part of this event. And I want to be a part of this event. What we made PO-ups, or we can pin it with Hive. We made PO-ups to bring up these people to this community. And these people was not involved in ape chain, or they have a mutant or an ape, but now their feeling is they are part of this genus, of this official world record. Okay, we make this huge event, and some pictures here. We make this huge event. This is the glass cube. There are steps on both sides, and they're running the people with one bottle over the steps, fill it up there, and on the other side back. Because it was so crowded, so many people wanted this in this event, and yeah, we fill it up there. There was a special glass there that not the bottles falling down into the cube. We make some marketing and so on there, with music, with dancing people, and totally crazy. But the end was, and it was official Guinness World Record. That was the crazy thing. We have the certificate for the community and for this blockchain to have the first and unique 2,222 liters world record of gin ape. That's all. But the idea was, what can we bring back to the community? On money and also on marketing. Marketing, okay, this was done because Snoop Dogg was not there, and there was no posting from Snoop Dogg, but we break it. And many, many other people come from the US, many celebrities and many other friends. Okay, Paris is cool, yeah? Come there and make pictures with the gin and post it to Instagram, post it to X and so on. And that was the reason why we are spreading out of this marketing event. After that event, in the evening, we pumped up all the gin tonic, because the gin tonic was without Kohlensäure. Thank you. And we must clean that. But we cannot do that in France. Now we pump it up in a special wagon and bring it back to Poland. There, cleaning and fill it up in special cans. This special cans, I can show it, is now here. That's the official gin tonic from this event. And you can buy it in retail stores. And you can get it if you have an NFT, if you are part of this, or you can buy it as a digital collection there and get this official gin tonic. The cashback for the community is 30% of this gin tonic goes back directly to the community. We made not only this, because we make a box, the mystery box, with 2 cans inside, and with the official, yeah, you are part of this. And, that's the next thing, we have a special solution there. There is a hologram in the box. The problem of NFTs is if you have an NFT on a real-world asset, you can buy the NFT, that's normal, and you can buy or you can mint it or redeem that, your physical thing. You get the physical thing at home, and now you have the physical thing and the digital solution, the NFT. And now I sell this physical thing to you. And you sell it, no, please, don't open it. And you sell it to the next person, please. Give it to the next person. And then to the next person. And then to the next person. Where is the digital NFT? Where is it? Yeah, correct. I'm the owner of the NFT. But I'm not aware about you. What's your name? What's your wallet address? Your idea is to have the NFT, but we don't know each other. Maybe you have my wallet address, and maybe you can write an email, hey, please send me your NFT, hey. No, it's my NFT. You have the physical thing, but not the NFT. And that's the next thing. What can we do to follow the digital thing to the physical thing? If I, the owner of my Lamborghini, I do it in my garage because I secure my physical thing. If I have a picture in my house, I secure my house with a key. Hopefully nobody comes to my house. But in a digital world, it's not possible. If I have a digital thing and a physical thing, and I sell it this or this, it's broken. That's not funny. We build up a solution with, again, a special way, because we make stickers. These stickers here, and the stickers you find it on pictures, you find it on cans, you find it on bottles, and so on. And the stickers are very unique. It's not a QR code, it's a hologram. We built up this hologram from a company. Normally they build up currencies in Austria. And this hologram is so unique, if you scan that, you get the NFT. Have you the box and scan this hologram again, you steal the NFT from my wallet and have no chance to interrupt that. Because it's a different smart contract. Questions? Oh, sorry.
So what might be the benefit of having the digital thing? I totally understand why I want to have the gin tonic, because I can drink it, I can enjoy, and I have something for me.
Correct.
But why the digital thing?
Most of the people. Good question. Most of the people want to be a part of this event. And what is your Nachweis? What is your proof? What is your proof that you are there, or that you are part of this gin tonic event? And many people want this proof in your pocket. And that's the reason.
What happened when the real gin tonic is drunken out with the NFT?
Very good. In this solution, it's not possible to prove that. But you are totally right. We build up this solution with wine bottles. And the wine bottles has a small Faden, a small red Faden, I don't know. A fin? String? String, yeah. A small string over the bottle, and if you open the bottle, the hologram is broken. And with this solution, you can make a proof of taste. Because if you want to scan it again, it's not possible. And the bottle is open. In this solution, it's not possible because we have only marked this box. But we are totally right. It's possible. But If you want to do that, I don't know, yes, no. In this case, no. Yeah. You can scan that, and then you are official part of this journey. Yeah. You make it a little bit different, that was one case, with art. This is a picture, and you can scan that if you want, with your mobile phone. This is a picture, is drawn by Tanja Leifeld. It's an artist in Germany. There are huge galleries and so on. And the idea was to make these pictures in a digital way. But the problem is, if I take a picture of that, then I have a picture. I'm not the owner. Yeah, it's totally different. If you have a picture, you are the owner. And how can I secure that I am the owner? I have the NFT. I have the ownership of this picture. And we build up a solution. Yeah. We build up the solution. 1 second. We build up a solution in 2 ways. First, we make a picture of the picture. We make a secret of the picture. If you are scanning this QR code, you have a website. In this launching website, if you are scanned or to see this picture again, the picture is moving. It's a picture behind the picture, only with this QR code. That's unique. And that's only possible if you are the owner of this picture. If you have not the picture, you cannot scan that and you cannot use that, the picture behind the picture. You see that? It's moving? Yeah. If you make it a little bit louder, there's a music. And you see some buttons. You can click on the buttons. You can collect the NFT. You have more information about the artist and so on. That's the picture behind the picture. That's a little bit magic. But that's not all. You need the picture to see this solution. And if I want to be the owner of this picture, I must scan the same solution like this. You must scan the small hologram there. There's a small hologram. Yeah, see that? Okay. And now hopefully I can show that. A bit not so easy with the microphone here. So, yeah, see my phone. Okay, now, hopefully it works. 1 second. Yeah? Yeah. So easy. You see a QR code? I click on that, and an app or web app is opening. And then you can scan this hologram. This hologram is unique. And then you see, owned by you get the information about this picture. What's behind that, and so on. And you see on the blockchain, in this case it's hologram, you see on the blockchain, and you can see it on OpenSea, you have you are the owner of this NFT. And only with this NFT, you can use, or you can use this picture. Yes, I can normally sell this NFT to the next person, for sure. But I have not a Sorry. I see here in OpenSea, I'm the owner, or I can go back. You can see that I'm the owner of this solution, or of this NFT. And if I have the physical thing, I see this magical picture behind the picture. And that's value for the owner. If I have only the NFT, it's not possible. Yeah, questions? I come to you.
So I'm personally a big fan of NFTs, and I think there's definitely use cases that exist tied to them. But I was I was wondering, it does kind of feel gimmicky in a way. It's mostly for tech lovers that love art or love luxury items. Did you maybe ever consider some kind of more simplified system for authenticity verification? For example, I'm actually kind of in the process of launching a prototype for a luxury watch that's branded with Hive. And I'm using a kind of a system that using NFCs that have challenge response on them, basically a burned in private key, and then I'm going to use the Hive blockchain to store the response, the public key in a post on Hive. For anybody that actually scans the NFC, they know that it's tied to the watch. So there's kind of this more simplified use for verification through blockchain that might not even be tied to NFTs directly. So it would be for more non-technical users. Is that something you guys consider, or is this mainly focused on NFTs?
It's mainly focused on NFTs. You can use that on every platform. No? You can use it on Hive. We build it up on Apechain. We build it up on normal Ethereum. It's EVM technology. You can build it up in every blockchain what you need. Solana, we have built up solutions on Solana and so on. You ask me, is this easy to use? I think yes, because every people can use the normal cam on the phone. If you can scan your QR code, you can use this solution. The problem is a QR code is very easy to copy that. This hologram is not possible to copy that. If you want to fill it up there, the hologram is broken. It's a security feature. Yeah. Yeah, it's a digital security feature. That's all. My recommendation is to Hive, build up such solutions, to use that in a very, very simple way. That's my recommendation. Thank you very much.
A very, very interesting talk. And as you said, you have 2 hearts. Maybe the cap is for the second one.
I have only one hand.
Yeah, maybe you have a beautiful wife with you.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
can assist. Yeah, okay. If you look to the time, we are a little bit delayed. My decision is we skip, as we had so many input here, and I guess many of you have questioned to Andre or to Sorin or to the other talks we just had. We skip the panel, go for the cake, and try to be only 15 minutes late in the agenda, because otherwise we end up way too late in the evening. So break now, kill the cake or whatever is left over there. There are some fruits, and don't forget the cold salad in the fridge. It need to be gone as well. More salad for you. Yeah. I count on you. Thanks. See you in, I think, 20, 25, 30 minutes. let me grab the smokers.
Jetzt aber.
Ihr seid
Ja.
bis bald. Habt ihr toll gemacht. Da ist, glaube ich, auch eine. Muss mal gucken. Ich war immer nur auf der. Habt ihr gut gegessen? Ja, alles gut. Ja, ihr verpasst jetzt die Currywurst.
Das ist
I found some people smoking or having after smoking discussions, but I moved them into this room. So we will have today at least this talk in German language because Henry, the one who will speak now, is able to speak fluently several languages like Spanish, I guess like French and German, but his English is not as good as his Spanish because he's born in Colombia with having German roots, and actually it's a good friend of mine, and during the last days we shared one of my favorite drinks and came to an interesting idea which I will present you after Henry explained a little bit what he is doing and why.
Ich werde auf Deutsch reden, wenn es geht. Ich bin Henrik Recklau. Ich bin Fabrikplaner und Comiczeichner. Und Sie fragen sich bestimmt, ja, wie kommt das zusammen, wie kann man das zusammenbringen? Das hat damit zu tun, dass ich zeichne, also früher hobbymäßig. Und als ich angefangen in Fabrikplanung und 1000 PowerPoint-Karaoken gemacht habe, habe ich festgestellt, dass ich die Leute besser erreiche mit einer Emotion und ein Lachen. Und das kann man machen, wenn man einen Comic macht. Und dann habe ich angefangen, Comics zu machen für die Fabrikplanung. Sehr erfolgreich und für meinen Arbeitgeber, aber nicht für mich. Und dann habe ich irgendwann gedacht, ich fange jetzt an, meine eigenen Comics zu machen. Und hatte einige Comics selber gemacht und selber publiziert. Das hat nicht so ganz funktioniert, weil ich ja allein war. Irgendwann habe ich einen Verleger gefunden, der es für mich rausgebracht hat. Und dann habe ich mich für Demokratie interessiert. Wir haben einmal darüber gesprochen, wie wir Veränderung bringen. Also da komme ich auch zurück zur Fabrikplanung. Wie kam ich auch zu Comics? In Veränderungsprozessen ist es sehr schwierig, die Leute zu bündeln, die Leute mitzunehmen. Also für Veränderung braucht man Empathie. Und diese Empathie, die kriegt man erst, wenn man die Leute gewinnt. Und ich habe festgestellt, mit Comics kann man das machen. Bei Veränderungsprozessen ist es so, oder ich mache das so als Witz, der einzige Mensch, der sich über Veränderung freut, ist ein Baby mit vollen Windeln. Ja? Sonst will keiner was verändern. Ja? Und sie müssen die Leute auf Jobfloor-Ebene erreichen, indem sie dazu motivieren, Empathie für die Veränderung zu bekommen. Ja? Und dann habe ich angefangen, Comics zu machen für meinen Arbeitgeber. Und irgendwann habe ich gedacht, okay, ich brauche dann für mich selber, würde ich gerne auch Comics machen. Und habe ich mich für die Zweite Weltkrieg interessiert, hat es damit zu tun, dass mein Vater Deutsch war, der ist gestorben. Und ja, das hatte auch irgendwie mit der Familie was zu tun. Und dann habe ich mal das Aachen-Experiment rausgebracht mit meinem Verleger Alexander Sams. Und Das war vorher so, in Deutschland hat man noch nie ein Comic gemacht über den Zweiten Weltkrieg. Da gab es auch die Maus. Aber die Maus war eine Maus, da waren keine Menschen drin. Die Franzosen haben das gemacht, die Holländer haben das gemacht, die Spanier sogar. Aber da hatte sich in Deutschland keiner damit auseinandergesetzt, mit Comics die Jugendliche zu erreichen. Und das hat uns mal auf die Titelseite von der Zeitung Die Welt gebracht. Und da haben wir gesehen, da ist ja Potenzial. Da kann man was machen. Irgendwann habe ich andere Dinge gemacht, wie Graf Rucola. Einige von Ihnen haben von Detlev Graf Rucola als Geschenk bekommen. Also Graf Rucola, dazu muss man sagen, Graf Rucola ist ein vegetarischer Vampir. Ist Vegetarier, weil viele Leute wissen nicht, es gibt Flughunde. Und die Flughunde, die sehen fürchterlich aus, aber die saugen Früchte. Und die normale Vampire, die saugen Blut von Menschen und die Menschen trinken Cola, gehen zu McDonald's, essen Hamburger und haben so viel Zucker im Blut, dass alle Vampire Diabetiker geworden sind und gestorben sind. Da kam Corona, da waren die alle tot und Graf Rucola hat es überlebt, weil er Gurken saugt. So, und das hat auch mal gut funktioniert, war zwar nicht ein Erfolg wie das Aachen-Experiment. Irgendwann habe ich mal der Anaconda-Fahrt raus, wir sind gerade dabei, dieses Buch zu promoten. Nächstes Jahr gibt es eine Geschichte über die Schlacht um Aachen, Zweiter Weltkrieg, weil wir festgestellt haben, dass die Leute so einen lokalen Bezug haben. Also man kann die Leute zum Lachen bringen mit so einem Graf Rucola, aber letztendlich brauchen die Leute einen Bezug. Ja? Genauso wie es zum Beispiel der Anaconda-Fahrt. Wir tun uns schwer damit, das in den Buchläden zu bringen, weil die Leute mit den Amazonas-Regenwald nicht viel verbinden, weil es so weit weg ist. Ja? Leider, obwohl wir Menschen ja, das Problem auf dieser Welt ist eben, wo wir die Verbindungen zum Regenwald verloren haben. Und das Gute an dieser Geschichte in der Community, im Internet, ist, dass diese Grenzen nicht da sind. Man kann die Leute weltweit erreichen. Und da hatten wir mal uns zusammengesetzt und hatten wir so eine lustige Idee gehabt. Da wird der Detlev ein bisschen darüber erzählen.
And as we might have some more visitors online, I switch back to English. You saw Henry is an awesome guy with a very special kind of humor. Vegetarian vampire. Huh? Yeah. As I first saw this book, I said, well, okay, it's Henry, it's fine, we can handle it. There are some other books, and I helped him already. If you go to Craiglow, you will see already his profile. I think it's already 2 years old, never used. We uploaded a picture yesterday, and we will go further from there. Why? All of you who have seen or heard about what happened to Hive as the birth of Hive took place, as this steamy guy came into our world, is a very interesting story which was told yesterday to us by the movie. So I said, with all the knowledge from the books Henry did, why not making a comic about exactly that story in different languages? So as he is able to cover at least German, Spanish, France, we have several people who can cover English. This might be a story worth to tell, because I was chosen to give a speech about the Aachen experiment, which is a historical story where in 1944 the Americans came into Germany, into Aachen as the first town they entered. And they saw people hanging out here, and they said, well, let's do an experiment and take one of these guys as the mayor to give the power to the people. Democracy, things we have nowadays in some kind of panic mode if I look to worldwide politicians and so on. Nevertheless, the idea to have this very interesting story where a community fighted against the money from China or wherever this guy is coming from is an interesting story to tell, an interesting story to have people with. And if we combine it with some ideas we just heard from Andre and some other ideas we learned here, it might be a very interesting project to market Hive as well to the masses, to explain on a second level of information, what the fuck is blockchain? People you meet somewhere don't have a clue about this. So if you put a nice story and some education into this, we reach the level of change by having people smiling or learning. So the next weeks, we will sit together and brainstorm a little bit what we can do out of this, to have a nice story out of this, to have something be printed. We already created the first 8 pages on my balcony some days ago where we said, well, we need these characters and so on. We might have a chat with the people who made the movie because there are some parts in who could be interesting to reuse into the story. But I like to extend this a little bit, and especially as I'm part of the story, I was sitting in front of my screen as the moment took place where the community won against the money. I think we have to make more out of this for marketing, for community, and for democracy. So this idea is what we have in mind, and I will write a post about it the next days whenever I'm out of this stress level here again. And for all the people who are here, we have a few books for giveaway, and I will as well help Henry a little bit to enter the digital world to understand a little bit of what we're doing here. Nevertheless, this is an idea, and an idea starts somewhere. As an idea from Michael with the Berlin Rebels started, as an idea with the gin, what Andre was talking about started. So it's not a plan, it's an idea, and I need your feedback to make a clear plan out of this and to cover some education and so on into a new plan. That's all.
Ich wollte hinzufügen, ich habe 2 Bücher mitgebracht zum Verlösen. Wer Interesse dran hat und falls Sie nicht das Glück haben, die Bücher zu haben, ich habe noch welche dabei. Also, falls es Interesse gibt.
Und da setze ich noch einen drauf. Sorry. And I like to add that I already set up an account for Henry. You for sure can buy it with HBD. Yeah. And he don't have a clue what I'm talking about. I love it. I'm already following you. Yeah. Since yesterday. Okay, folks, we will have a little break with Henry, then I think your speech is the next. We are a little bit behind the time, and people online, if you like to get one of these books, we will find a way to get it to you. Yeah. So, Henry, thanks. Thanks for following a crazy idea. I love it. Let's see what we can do out of it. all the unplanned things. And and for some education, we will show for people who are here around how easy it is to transfer something in Hive or HBD from one account to another one. I have the store app here, and Henry only needs to enter the amount of how much he liked to sell one of his books, and then he gets HBD into his account, and he still don't have a clue what this means. Welche Bücher hast du noch da?
Also ich habe Grafdruckunda, Expedition, also Anaconda-Fahrt
Ja.
und das Aachen-Experiment.
Welches möchtest du verkaufen?
Alle.
Für welchen Preis?
Also das Aachen-Experiment ist 15 €, Anaconda-Fahrt auch und Grafdruckunda 10.
Okay. Und was ist der Specialpreis für heute?
Ich nehme Hive.
Das ist gut. Wie viel?
Keine Ahnung. Ich muss den Kurs gucken.
Also mag mal einer ganz kurz gucken, was ich sage mal 14 € in HBD sind, dann tragen wir das hier ein und dann könnt ihr ihm noch irgendwas unter, der macht garantiert noch ein Autogramm rein. Ja?
Ich habe 10 € in Dollar, ja? Für die 12 HBD und 12 HBD-Centen.
Ah. Ja?
How does it work?
Hey. Keychain Store App. Ja.
Ja?
Krieglo.
Sie haben Geld.
Oh, das ist gut.
You have money. Deine Töchter hast Geld jetzt.
Wie ich das denn dann gleich mache.
Was ist das? Ah, 14 sind 17 HBD für die anderen, okay.
Ich will Anaconda
Super.
Ich habe bezahlt. Darf ich?
Ja, natürlich. Ja.
Anaconda-Fahrt? Ja, I need him.
Anaconda-Pfad plus Graf-Rucola.
Henry? Anaconda-Fahrt und Rucola zusammen? 25. Sagen wir 27 HBD.
Moi, je prends pour mes filles le
Goes.
Cracklow. Okay.
Yeah. If you
Non, tu dois en fait s'afficher ici. Alors, est-ce que tu peux faire un update de parce qu'en fait, il sort à chaque fois que tu vas sur le Play Store, normalement,
Alex?
tu vas avoir une mise à jour en fait.
Your Finance. Guck, wir haben jetzt hier eine App, ja, und Sonja möchte auch irgendwas kaufen, sie weiß aber noch nicht was.
Ja, okay.
Ja, da habe ich jetzt eingetragen das Geld zu Kriegloff. Wir tragen jetzt nur den Amount in US-Dollar ein.
Ja,
à chaque fois qu'il sort un update, en fait,
okay, und dann.
le truc actuel cesse de fonctionner.
Sonja, what kind of book do you like to have?
The arugula thing?
Yeah?
Because sorry, my German is inexistent.
Yeah?
So
This is 12.
I will learn.
Or 13?
Okay.
13. No, 12, 12. Dann Submit. Und wenn sie das jetzt scannt,
Dann ist transmitted.
ja,
Okay.
so, jetzt transferiert sie das. Das dauert ein Sekündchen, meistens so 3 bis 4. Ja,
Vorführeffekt dauert 3 Sekunden länger.
dann ist es bezahlt.
Great. Great.
Ja?
Great. Okay.
The app is from?
Keychain. Yeah.
It's a separate app.
It's a separate app, very simple. Very, very simple. You can't do anything wrong. Yeah, just for payments.
Cool.
Yeah?
So, but there will be an enhancement.
Sooner or later, yeah. This is an old one.
No, I mean there will be an enhancement. Yeah, if you just put in, okay, 12 €.
Yeah.
And then.
Okay.
No, yeah, maybe it's like a calculation, but it's,
Erstmal dreimal reingehalten. Du musst auch deine Zuschauer ein bisschen unterhalten, ne?
Ja.
Die zu Hause jetzt gerade zu.
Ja, genau.
ich bin hin und her gerissen.
Ja.
Okay.
Ja.
It's called Store App.
Ja.
Keychain Store.
Keychain Store. Ja.
Okay,
Okay.
wir können
Machen wir
später
hinterher mal in
reden.
aller Ruhe.
Ihr seid, ich mache da jetzt gar keinen. Wir machen das jetzt einfach so. Alles gut. Ja, das weiß ich. Da gibt es überhaupt gar keine. Ja. Das ist ja alles völlig unkompliziert.
Ja, das ist dann der Werdegang. Der Ehre.
We are just signing 2 more books and then we will go further with the next talk. Until then, you may delete some more of the lovely cakes or fruits we have. And I think there might be a little bit leftover salad in the fridge. Not sure about how much you killed.
Healthy, fresh, unmade.
That's your other fridge. This is one with beer. Very long signature. Okay, I start already a little bit. So we learned today many things about Hive, many advantages, and as well some disadvantages. So one of them is, how should I start with this? What is the best and easiest way to go into that world? And therefore, we have Kristin with me. She's from actually my business team. There she is for marketing, sales, and killed notebooks, which fall from the chair. She is marketing and sales, and I told her a little bit about Hive. And you know what happened? Huh? Do I need this? How is this working? Okay, we helped a little bit setting up her account, and then nothing happened. A long time. Then we talked again about it. No. I only make an intro. We talk about it and said, well, okay, it sounds interesting. And she started a little bit. And the start and what happened will be part of your story and probably a few more questions. Maybe you have some people who can answer it.
Thank you. So after listening to so much high professional keynotes today, I really am a bit nervous as the newbie. But I would like to share with you my journey into the Hive system. And I would like to start with a short introduction. Yeah, that's me. You can see me here. I'm not alone in this world. I have a great family, which is my husband and my 3 kids. They are between 13 and 18, and they don't have any clue about crypto, about Hive, about blockchain or whatever. So I'm still alone. So I would like to walk you through where I came from, how it happened here to me, my newbie experiences, and as if I had known all your keynotes before, there might be some points we already discussed today. Then where am I today? And I have a short summary with some questions, some open questions, and also some suggestions maybe for the Hive community. So let's start with where I came from. As you may have heard here today, I'm a marketing and sales pro in Detlev's team. And for this, I'm coming from the typical social media you all know. It's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all this stuff. So for many years, this has been my professional area. But since like 4 or 5 years, this has been starting to really annoy me, because what are we experiencing, we all, in this typical social media networks? It's private ownership, so you all know the stories about Mark Zuckerberg and stuff. Meanwhile, there's lots of fake. You are like thrown on with ads. There are data claws. There's a lot of hate, especially in the last, let's say, 3 years. Like, yeah, during the pandemic, I feel it started during the pandemic extremely. And yeah, and there are shitstorms. Whatever you are posting, you can post puppies, tiny little cats, whatever. You receive shitstorms. I don't know why, what happened to people. So yeah, this stuff starts to annoy me a lot. I still have to work with these networks for a business purpose, but that's also why I started to be interested in other options. So how it happened. First of all, like every day I seem to hear the word Hive from my colleagues and friends like Detlev and others. And I just was like, what are you talking about? I don't have a clue. You're talking about crypto stuff and about, I don't know, gray area. Then someday happened, we all sat together on another project, and Detlev and Rivals and Louis88 just decided for me. I didn't have a chance to say no. They decided, and they just made it up. They just set up an account for me and said, you have to have Hive. You have to be there. And I just was like, okay. I made a first post, still didn't understand what I was doing here and why, and broke for like 1.5 years. Nothing happened. The first post, nothing more. Because I just didn't understand. Nobody told me, nobody explained, and I didn't ask. So, but during this 1.5 years, still Detlev, every day, Hive here, Hive there, crypto here, crypto there. So, let's say like 4 or 5 months ago, I restarted. I couldn't hear this anymore, so I restarted. And that was the point when also my newbie experiences started to happen. The first thing I had to learn, read the fucking manual. And this is one thing, when you come from the typical social media networks, you don't know. In typical social media networks like Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, you just post things. Whatever comes to your mind, you just post it. And so it's like fire and forget, whatever happens then. Not so in Hive. There's a lot of rules before you are allowed to post something. And in the very first beginning, I had my Facebook, Instagram thinking in my head. So this mindset has been very from the past. And I posted without thinking. What happened? My first downvote even happened. And maybe it's only a few cents or a few, maybe 1 HBD or so. I don't know, I don't remember, but it really hurt. it really hurt my feelings. I made a lot of effort to post this first thing, some pictures, a long text. I had to translate into English. It's not my native language, as you may know. So one downvote, ouch. I had to learn that my voting manner is kind of dying when I vote the entire day. So suddenly I just looked into my analytics and saw it's like 25% or so. And I was just wondering why I am voting with 0.0000, so nothing. Yeah, and I even missed a competition by not reading the rules. Also, this really hurt. If you know me, you know I'm very competitive. And when you lost the competition, which you actually could have won by just missing one tiny little thing, yeah, it's annoying too. So this has been the first experiences, but peanuts against actually the good experiences. So you always end with good experiences. It's not the end of my keynote, but actually what Hive feels to me is this community, and this means hugs and kisses to all of you. It's appreciating. It's totally welcoming. Whenever I post something, it's like, hey, nice to have you here. Thanks for your content. Thanks for sharing your story. So it's something I really enjoy. The whole Hive community always is totally positive. I tried, but I didn't find a negative posting. Nothing. Not that I wanted one, but I just was curious. Is there something, who is someone complaining about something, or what you are used to have in Facebook or Twitter or whatever? So all is usually positive. It's rewarding, we all know this. You get these payouts. And this is something I really, really, really use, it's useful, it's helpful. So I just, yeah, we can just go over to my favorite communities, because I'm using these communities not every day, but very often. There is, no, let's come to the second first. It's the Worldmappin. We already heard today about Worldmappin. And hey, I planned a travel this summer with my daughter. And before this, I entered Worldmappin and had a tiny look. Hey, I'm going to Malmö. Has somebody experienced something in Malmö before? And yes, there have been like, help me out, 10 or 15 entries already. So you can read something about your destination. You can find out what is nice advance, where should you go, are there nice restaurants, hotels, stuff like that. So this is one of the very helpful communities. I'm also in the beer community. Yes, this is also helpful because life is too short to have a bad beer. So you better read before you drink something. And here, even I found my own niche. I'm a part of the community and I'm posting regularly. And my niche is that you can follow me and you will learn what type of beer even tastes great with ice cubes in it. Because this is my specialty. I always drink beer only with ice cubes. It's nothing. Yeah. Shut up. And my post usually ending with, at Detlev, don't you complain. So another very nice community, and this is my question to all of you. Who of you has pets at home? Like dogs, cats, almost everybody. Vampires, great. Snakes, spiders, flies, whatever. So are you all part of the Hive Pets community? Why? It's such a nice one. This is just for I lost the word. Unterhaltung. Entertainment. It's just for entertainment. It's to see nice pictures and stories about tiny cats, about puppies, about whatever people are experiencing with their pets. And here I built my first own blog, actually, which is a blog about my beautiful dog, Ella. And this is, I would like to introduce you today, and I would like to invite you to follow me. Ella is a Leonberger dog, and I don't know if you know what the special is about Leonberger dogs. Does anybody know? It's the size. And Rivals already knows. Also Detlev already knows. So in this blog, I'm blogging about, there are standards, there are breeding standards for purebred Leonberger dogs. And I'm blogging about how my Leonberger dogs meets the standards. Not. So why should you follow this blog? Because of this. You will receive this content. Isn't it cute? They are huge, you are right. So look, this on the very left is Rivals. When he visited 2 years ago, Ella was so happy to meet him. And this is her actual size. She is like 65 kilograms heavy, and she is 75 centimeters shoulder height, which is like here. So when I'm sitting on my desk and working, she's just laying her nose on my desk and looking what I'm doing. That's her. But in the middle picture, you can see, actually, she's just goofing around the entire day and making funny stuff. And regarding the size and the strength, on the very right, you see our neighbor boy, who is 2 years old on this picture. And she, and I mean, it's for all Leonberger dogs, is so gentle that you can just leave them alone. You never would. Sorry, you never would, but you could. I promise you could. So in all these things, all these stories, I share with you in my Ella blog, Gorgeous Ella. So just to go back, this is the QR code if you want to follow me. Yeah, let's come to the serious stuff. Not too serious, I promise. When there's a newbie on the platform, it's hard enough, I can tell you, to understand all the rules, to understand the process, to understand the advantages and disadvantages, to just come into this crypto stuff. And still today, I don't have a clue. So the first request is, please don't be too strict with newbies when they make mistakes by posting. And usually it's tiny mistakes they do not intend to do. Please don't be too strict and downvote. It still hurt my heart, by the way. I'm not telling you in what community that happened, but it was not so nice. We already talked the entire day, I feel, about the onboarding process. And this is still something which also has been very hard for me because, yes, the guys did it for me. I showed you Rivals and Lewis and Detlev, thanks to you. They did it for me, but it was so complicated that I don't remember at any of these steps. I couldn't repeat somehow. So if I would like to invite my husband or my oldest son to the Hive network, I couldn't. I don't have a clue how this worked. And I was always wondering, isn't there an onboarding process which a newbie can follow if they don't have Rivals and Lewis and Detlev? So this is one of the things. What I not found was the very, very good introduction and manual from Rise Online. He wrote like 50 pages or so, right? A very nice manual with pictures and comics and good explanations, even for 8-year-old pupils, I think. But I didn't find it by myself. Detlev had to provide. How did you find it? How did you know about this manual?
I searched hours for help.
See. So this is why he doesn't want to be my mentor, because I make him busy for hours with that. So, but yeah, this is what I mean. This manual really is great. You have to look it up. Why is this not provided to me immediately after setting up the account? I would have appreciated this piece of paper. And then there are some other things that I still don't understand, and I'm totally happy for every one of you approaching me today or tonight, whenever, to maybe have answers, because I don't still know how to use all these great apps, for especially the ActiveFit app. I tried, but I couldn't find out how it works. So maybe someone can help me out with it. Great. Let's share a beer. Like an hour ago, I brought into the idea of having a token for the footballers. Actually, I don't have an idea what a token is. I just learned it's something nice, something people want to have, and something you can make marketing with, but I don't have a clue what the token is, or an NFT, or because it's so hard to find good stuff explaining all this. There is this huge question. I think this is a question you all get from newbies. Where the fuck does the money come from? I'm a master of business administration, so actually I should have a tiny clue about financial stuff and so, but I don't understand it. I learned that money always has to be something in balance. So you cannot just invent money, find somewhere for nothing. It's like in science class when I learned nothing is able to come out of the blue and nothing is able to just disappear into the blue. Sorin, I so waited for your input. We can share the microphone.
So the reason this question pops up is mainly because we are not taught correctly what money is. We learn in school that money equals fiat money, central bank generated money, but that's not true actually. And there is an explanation of where the fiat money comes from that can be provided. Basically, it comes from people buying Hive in the market with fiat money. But that is, let's say, missing the point. The bigger point is what is money and whether Hive is money as well. So where the money comes from is actually, linking back to what is value, what is transferable value, and what exactly is money.
Yes, thank you for that. Yes, actually, this is the only idea I also already got is something about value. So let's just go ahead with that later on. I'm really curious. Yes, and I not only have questions, I only considered some maybe ideas that could work for the future. And this is to address all you as the Hive community. I just considered how can a better onboarding process work. I imagine there should be a mentorship, which the thing is Detlev has and not want to have. But whenever a newbie is signing up, maybe it could be offered him another person, another Hivian, who helps him like for half a year or so, and it should be, of course, rewarded. So they are a team, and the success of the newbie also is the success of the mentor. Just an idea. Maybe we can discuss later how we can set this up. And the other idea I already told you is this nice manual from Rise Online, how to provide this great stuff immediately to a newbie who just signed up would be great. And we already discussed today, besides the speeches here, things of gamification. So why not setting up challenges or rallies where newbies are forced to learn step by step how to get into the community, how to get into the system, how to get to deal with cryptocurrency and stuff like that, step by step, like education in school. So this have been my ideas. I'm happy to discuss this later on and just give my input or learn that you already did and it did not work, maybe. But yeah, this is my stuff so far. And if you want, I will let you know next year how this journey went on. And I'm totally happy if you follow me in my blog. I will tell Ella too. Thank you very much.
Did you know that we have a website called Hivebus?
No.
Oh, we have to talk about that. The new manager of Hivebus was here. A nice lady from Belgium. I will explain you. He was sitting next to you. Daughter. But nevertheless, you need to put some stickers around Bad Segeberg and other villages and post about it. All for Winnetou. Okay, thank you very much, Kristin. It was fun to listen to you. Which brings us to the next talk, where we have Sonia and Sorin again on stage, as I think so. Let me have a minute to change the presentation. Yes, yes, you have to share it in some way.
Yes, I think I have the right height. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I think I don't have to introduce both again, so we can save some time on this. Join me on stage, please. Our lovely team from Luxembourg will come with some more feedback ideas and projects you already did. So I'm looking forward to hear all that.
Okay. Thank you, Detlev. So, well, I'm going to go on the side. Sorin, I'm sorry, but I have to give you a disclaimer. You were not around yesterday during our gathering at the Three Borders, and because I arrived here before you, so I kind of gave not too much away, but I give a sneak peek to a couple of people here in the room about how we are already paying our beers and coffee and food in Luxembourg with HBD, and I was really, really happy to share that with you. And so today, finally, we're disclosing the name of that technology, which is Innopay. We'll give you more details about how it works, and I just wanted to inform you about that. And I was really excited to, yes, give you more information today about this product we have developed in Luxembourg. So do you want to start the presentation?
Thank you, Sonia. So yeah, we are going to talk about Innopay, which is let's say, first and foremost, a brand. It uses existing Hive technology. It uses, it could use a keychain store that Detlev used a few minutes ago to receive payment for the comics. Actually, we use an alternative point of sales application that is known among Hivians that is called v4v.app. And it uses, this is for the merchants, for the shops, and it uses keychain or eSency to scan the QR codes that the point of sales applications generate and do the payment. So basically, we are doing a little bit like Satoshi, because Satoshi, when he invented Bitcoin, people who are very critical of it is that he did not necessarily create new technology. He put together in the right way existing technology, like peer-to-peer networking and linked lists of cryptographic hashes and proof of work. All of these concepts existed already. He just had the genius of putting them into the right type of application. Okay, so what is Innopay is a community-led payment initiative. What does that mean? Is that it's not a company, and we do not intend to make a company out of it, so it's not for profit. It's a something that we invite you to take into your hands as well. It's something that we give to the community, a little bit like Offchain has given us the brand for free, because strength lies in unity. The more we are using something, the higher the impact that we can have, right? And I want to stress here that many people in this room have come into Hive through blogging and are still equating in their minds Hive with blogging. But again, I want to quote what Damir said, Hive is not a one-trick pony. Hive is a lot more than blogging. Hive is an excellent economic infrastructure. Back then, I was a avid reader of the British magazine The Economist, and I still remember being like, I was already knowing about and using Steam, and in June 2018, these guys, which are highly respected in everywhere in the world because they know their business, they wrote a paper about dApps and blockchains, and they said the best crypto economic system is Steemit. Okay, now it's Hive, but back then there was no Hive. And here with Innopay, this is what we are kind of trying to bring to the people and trying to prove. And through Innopay, we have onboarded lots of people in the Hive community, people who have no interest in blogging and no interest in reading blogs, because Hive is not a one-trick pony. Hive is a lot more than a blogging platform, right? So a little bit about us, the story about the cryptoverse, how it started. Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Satoshi wanted to give a possibility for people, for instance, for remittances, people who are working away from home and want to send money back home. And the few ways of doing that are all high cost, like Western Union, for instance, because back home, usually people are not banked, so they have to receive money in another way because bank transfers are not necessarily the easiest way. And what it's become, again, I refer to Damir's speech from earlier on, it's become a big casino, right? So people, when they think about crypto, they think about currently about meme coins and number go up, right? And what we wanted to do is that we wanted to show that people, that crypto is useful in real life, in the day-to-day life. And for that, of course, you can blog, but only a small proportion of the population blogs, and a slightly bigger, but still not big enough proportion of the population reads blogs. But everybody uses payments. Everybody pays for stuff, right? You have to pay your beer, right? Oh, except here where beers are free, but so I have 3 movies here. They are all published on Hive in my account, Sorin.Cristescu, so you can watch them there. I noticed that I'm a little bit too long usually, so I would like to show them this because because it stars Sonia. Put it in full screen. Yeah. No, it's not showing there. What do you mean? Put it in full screen? No.
From the beginning? You keep the microphone here.
Okay, cool. So now I do have Bitcoin and I owe 25 euros. So why just not pay with that?
Hard to argue with that, but to be honest, I wouldn't pay with Bitcoin myself, because if I do, that pizza story will haunt me forever.
Pizza story?
Yeah, the first ever Bitcoin payment that happened 15 years ago.
Refresh my memory.
Well, back in 2010 in Florida, 2 pizzas were worth $25. And Bitcoin back then was a peer-to-peer cash system, but nobody had ever used it or paid with it for anything. And there comes this Laszlo guy who offers 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. And then a guy takes the deal, brings Laszlo the pizzas, and gets 10,000 Bitcoin. Can you picture that? Today, you would have 10,000 pizzas for only 2 Bitcoin. Imagine telling your kids 15 years from now that you couldn't buy a house because you had lunch.
Okay, so I guess it means now I should keep my Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, and next thing you know, you might be able to buy a house with these Bitcoin.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
Okay. Please don't judge my acting skills, you know. But I feel like that kind of video we are doing, it's part of the philosophy we have in Luxembourg. So yes, going back to what Sorin was saying, we're not so much focused on social media, but we want to spread the idea that cryptocurrencies can be used in a day-to-day basis. I mean, I didn't know much about cryptocurrencies very recently, but same thing, I got to know about Hive because I was meeting all those guys in that bar as part of the Offchain Luxembourg meetups, and what I wanted to do was to pay for my beer, pay for my wine, and so I'm using Hive as a mean of payment. Is how I'm seeing it, and this is what the idea we're trying to spread around us in Luxembourg. It can be a real life asset that can be used.
So listen to her. She was interested in blockchain and crypto, but didn't know much about it. And what did she do? She attended some local meetups with nerds, crazy people that were talking about these cryptocurrencies and blockchain stuff. Okay, and she's a tax lawyer, right? So, yeah, it's normal. It's a complex topic. Imagine that we would have talked about, for instance, blogging. Now, she might not be interested in blogging. Then she would have said, okay, this is not for me. But payments, you come here and then you can pay for your beer with crypto. That is something that you have to pay anyway. So let's try to pay with crypto, right? Why not? Let's discover it that way. So this is what we had the chance in Luxembourg to have a local shop, a local bar and restaurant who said, yeah, I am interested in accepting Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I know about them. I have a Binance account. I have been trading crypto for years, so I know what that is. So we started going there often and paying with crypto, and then we started developing a series of arguments. If you are a shop owner, why would you accept crypto? So basically, you are trying to create a marketing book for other people who want to expand this. So we encourage you to think, okay, do I know a shop owner? It doesn't have to be a bar or restaurant. It can be a, I don't know, a clothing shop or anything, right? That is a little bit open to the idea of stepping into the future of money, because this is what this is. It's the future of money. So if you are a shop owner, why would you accept crypto? So first of all, there are no fees. This is one of the huge benefits of using Hive. The sender does not pay fees. The shop owner does not pay fees. If you accept credit cards as a shop owner, Visa and MasterCard take fees. Might not be a lot, but it's still something that exists and that can sway a shop owner. Not all of them. Some of them say, oh, I don't care about the fees. But some will say, oh, I do care about the fees. For instance, you have in Luxembourg, you have meal vouchers, ticket restaurant. And those got digitalized recently. And when people pay with the meal voucher card, there are credit cards for paying for meals. The fees are relatively significant. They are 4%. 4% is not nothing, right? We say you ask them to pay with HBD, you have no fees. Okay. Second, there is no dedicated terminal, right? You don't need this. All you need is a phone and a point of sale application, which can be Keystore. Keystore is called? Yeah, keychain store, or as we show here, v4v.app. You have to fix the currency in euro so that the prices are calculated in euros. You put a price here, you put your Hive account here. So the shop owner, this is the first thing, the shop owner should open a Hive account. You put the shop owner account here, the price, you click on this and it generates a QR code. The customer reads the QR code with his phone camera. And if there is a Hive app like Essency or Hive Keychain registered in Android or in iOS, the QR code generated is a special URL, a special protocol that opens either Essency or Hive Keychain and asks the user, do you want to sign a transfer of 12.15, actually these are euros, so it will be 12.99 HBD to this account? Yes or no? You click sign and it's instantly transferred to the shop owner account and you have paid, right? And you can do that. V4V can generate Lightning Network invoices. So this is one of the arguments, marketing and buzz. A shop owner can say, oh, I'm the very first shop in Aachen to accept Bitcoin payments. Yes, please.
Just to be critical on purpose, isn't it the same that happens when I'm using PayPal?
I don't know about anyone using PayPal. I know no one using PayPal. Do you use PayPal? The app on your phone. And there are shops who generate QR codes and, okay, I don't know about Germany. In Luxembourg, I've never seen that. I don't know anyone using that. Do you?
Just a second, there are some disadvantages towards this here. It's fees for the shop owner. It is in PayPal, and PayPal is ownership. It's not decentralized, I know, but the process itself is, for me, sounds the same actually.
So yeah, here indeed, here you have no fees, no dedicated terminal, no need to print receipts. In PayPal, you need to print receipts because the payment is in PayPal. You don't see the payment. If you pay via PayPal, right? You see your payment in your PayPal application. Okay, okay. In PayPal, you pay with what? With euros, right? Yeah, here you have a marketing hook. You say, I am the first shop to accept Bitcoin, right? And you can develop a customer relationship. As a shop owner, do you see who paid or just you see a PayPal tightly held? Okay, and can you contact them? Okay, here the interest is that you have a direct relationship with the customer. So you see the customer on the Hive blockchain who paid you, and you can, for instance, create on top of it a customer relationship management application that, for instance, can look at Worldmappin likes cheeseburgers, and I can send him a notification that we have a special offer tomorrow for cheeseburgers, come and eat at our place, right? This is typical CRM. And also what is interesting is that if you accept this, you pre-finance your working capital because you can sell as a shop owner, you can pre-fund your customer wallets with HBD. For instance, if you are a shop owner who accepts HBD and someone comes to you and sits and eats at your table, you can say, would you like to learn about paying with crypto? Okay, and you accompany that customer to install a wallet. It's 1 minute 45. We took a chronometer. It's nothing big, okay? And then the customer says, yeah, but I don't have HBD. And you as a shop owner, you have because you have received it from others and say, oh, but there's no problem. You pay me, I don't know, 20 euros, 30 euros, 50 euros, 100 euros, and I transfer the HBD and you can pay with those, okay? And you got the 100 euros before the customer has actually spent them. So first of all, if they don't use all of them at the first visit, they will have an incentive to come again to spend their HBD. And while the HBD is not spent, you have working capital in euros that they have pre-financed. Okay, this is not the case with PayPal, right? Let's move on. Now, for as a, sorry.
How do I explain it to German Finanzamt?
This is a topic for Steuerberater. I don't know. You are in Germany, you have to figure it out. We can tell you how it goes in Luxembourg, but and we give you all that we have. We are going to offer to help you with the branding, with the arguments, but we cannot help you with. I mean, we all do this for free, so we can't explain the German tax laws to you because we are not in Germany. It's a challenge, but knowing the German Finanzamt, but in Luxembourg it's pretty straightforward. Now, why would someone pay with HBD as a customer, right? Well, first of all, the first argument that we have that works quite well if you are with friends is that they are curious, discovering and learning something new, especially since, again, I'm quoting Damir. I like quoting him a lot today. One of the next trends is stable coins, and everybody talks about stable coins and stuff like that. So HBD is a stable coin that is decentralized. And so I've actually onboarded people who have heard about blockchain but never used it. And they actually were saying, oh, but this is just for speculation and gambling. No, it's not. You can pay your lunch here with HBD. Oh, I never did that. Oh, let me walk you through the process. And then he paid and said, oh, this is the first time I've actually used crypto. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, then you have resilience in case if you have a bit of HBD in your wallet, in case the money, the terminal doesn't work. For instance, we had the CrowdStrike bug in 2024. We have regularly the biggest payment provider in Luxembourg and Belgium is Worldline, and about once a year we have a blackout of about 1 day where their systems unexpectedly stop functioning. Yeah, you have all kinds of problems. I once went into a shop where they had a very shaky terminal that was, I don't know, in end of life or something, and it was constantly rebooting, and it took, to do a payment with credit card, it took something like 20 or 25 minutes because the terminal was broken. So this gives you an alternative way of paying. You support the local economy because there are no fees. And number 4, you get cash back with Distributor. Again, a super application that is offered for free by the community. Do you know about Distributor and Spend HBD? See? Hive is not a one-trick pony.
It's not convenient. But this is the main difference with PayPal. This is what will convince me to use 100% Hive as opposed to normal PayPal. As a normal person, I don't care about the blockchain, I don't care about the tech, but I'm interested in, saving money. The distributor is amazing, and this is what will convince me as a customer to enter that ecosystem and actually come back to the same places and spend my money there.
So Distributor gives you, you go with, in Hive Keychain, you go on the globe, which is the browser. And in the browser, you type distributor.com. And then once you spend in an approved shop, and we got 2 approved shops in Luxembourg, 2 approved restaurants, you see in Distributor, you see claim back, and you click on claim back, and okay, you have to write a little bit of lius because they want to fight fraud, and take 2 pictures from the shop, like blogging in a sense. And you click on a button, and Distributor takes care of posting for you to Hive. This is why it's better to have a separate account for claiming back, because otherwise it pollutes your blog. And then you get cashback, which for small sums can get, it's gamified, can get up to 40%, 40, right? It's capped. So if you spend, like, for instance, for a beer, 8 euros or 7 euros or 6 euros, I don't know how much a big beer costs here in Aachen, tell me. Yeah, you get 40% back from that spend. Exactly, you got, you get back the HBD. You see this trader transferring you back the HBD that you paid. How cool is that? Can PayPal do that? No, they can't.
At the same time, when I claim my rewards, I got to know that recently actually, I leave that review and I put a pin on the Worldmappin app directly. So I can also indirectly participate into the social media aspect of Hive without putting so much effort in trying. I'm just spending my money, leaving a review, and I'm engaging with the rest of the community too.
No, it's very good. It's very good. The questions that you are asking are very good. It's good to be challenged because you can, yeah. So, yeah,
Right,
because this
Hive.
is the Hive community, we've been challenged. I mean, mostly Starkers has been challenged because Starkers is behind this trader. And people from the blogging side of Hive challenged the Spend HBD initiative, saying this is useless blogging because everything gets automated and it brings no value to the chain. And so we had to explain, many of us who are convinced that this brings a lot of value to Hive, went there on Taras. Do you know Taras KP? It's one of the biggest, most famous bloggers in Hive. We went there to explain why it brings a lot of value to the ecosystem. Okay. Here I explain this, but if you want, I'm not dwelling on it. You can either go to Taras or read this QR code that links to the comment. You can find a comment here. It's esency.conference category T16 GSO. You'll see it in the presentations. Read the comment. It brings a lot of value to Hive. To come back to your question, where does the money come from? Where does the fiat come from? The fiat comes from people buying Hive in the markets and with euros. Fiat is euros. Fiat, this is how nerds like us in the blockchain world call the central bank money. Whether it's dollars or yens or it's fiat money, meaning that is money that has been brought into being by the will of someone. Okay, so yeah, you need to give people reasons to buy Hive. You are blogging, but you never bought Hive. You did? Okay. Sorry, bro. That's very good, but a lot of people are blogging without ever having bought Hive, right? So if there aren't people who buy Hive with euros, then it's not going to work. Yeah? Yeah, so, yeah, sorry. Yeah, see, still 3 minutes, a lot. So, yeah, as I said, we have the branding, and then the next thing we did, well, we have the LinkedIn page. Please follow us on LinkedIn if you are on LinkedIn. Can I get that from you guys? Thank you so much. Offchain Luxembourg page, Offchain Luxembourg ISBL page. So we post there, and we created, this was the first version. We created a menu for Indies Cafe where we go with QR codes. And what happens there is that when people read the QR codes, they get to actually to both order and pay at the same time. Okay? So I want you, if you wish, to open a browser on your phone and go to indies, Innopay.lu. Okay, and then you are going to see a blank page with the button unlock audio normally. Yeah, I'm not very sure with yeah, someone has unlocked audio. So this is the backend. It's very simple. To quote Andre Liesenfeld, you need to wait a little bit. We are going to use it. Andre Liesenfeld said how easy it is to code with AI. I have stopped coding like 20 years ago. Sorry, I have the microphone. 20 years ago, but now with the help of AI, I went back to coding, and I started by coding the backend. This is the one that you see there, and when you read one of those QR codes, so you pay to Indies for instance, water or beer, or each QR code is for a separate item, okay, with the price of the item. And when you pay, it goes to the backend that you see on indies.innopay.lu. And this backend is, you don't find it, Kristin? No. The page is Offchain Luxembourg ISBL. Offchain Luxembourg ISBL. Offchain Luxembourg in LinkedIn. Offchain Luxembourg. That's the LinkedIn page. Yeah. It means Verein. Yes. Looks like, yeah. You see Hive there, huh? And Offchain. Yeah, please. Thank you. And now in a normal browser, type in the address book in Chrome or Safari or whatever, type indies, INDIES, .innopay.lu. And you are going to be on the back end of the cafe. This they have on a laptop behind the counter. So where they have the bar serving the beers and giving the orders to the kitchen. And when someone reads one of these QR codes and pays, the application prints table 203, for instance, user Sangalo78 or whatever, has just paid for a beer. Okay? So what does that mean? It means that the waiter does not need to first go to the table and say, okay, what are you ready, people? Do you have you made your decision? What are you going to order? No, the people have already not only ordered, but paid. And then the waiter just needs to bring the stuff that has been ordered. And also the payment is already done. So out of 3 moves of the waiter to the table, first to bring the menu and ask whether the people know what to order. Second, to bring the food. And third, to come with the card terminal, please pay the bill. 2 of them are eliminated, right? The first one, people know already they have ordered. Okay, we don't have a robot yet to bring the food. This the waiter has to do. But the payment already has been made, right? Let's move forward. So yeah, this is again, we've done events, and we come again at the idea of the community, off-chain community. We bring people from outside Hive, people who have barely heard or never heard about Hive, but might know about the blockchain and Ethereum and stuff like that. And we are doing an event that is inclusive. We are doing, in a sense, cross-chain, but in the physical world. And we install Hive keychain on people's phones. We help them install and create an account, and then they can pay for their beers. And they can blog as well if they are bloggers. But as I said, in my 7 years on the Steam and then Hive blockchain, I came to the conclusion that the proportion of people who are interested in blogging is relatively small, whereas everybody likes beer. Okay, so the next thing that we've developed is an integrated menu for the customers. So now, if you want, you can go to, so the same indies.innopay.lu, but you just add a slash, okay? Yeah. And now you can see, so for the drinks, how did you got there?
No, because I just sent the link to Kristin.
Okay. So yeah. We developed also the customer front end dedicated to indies, and you can order from your phone. So it's not anymore the paper with the QR codes printed, but it's from the comfort of your phone and even from the comfort of your home. So here what you see here is Anthony has ordered a cheeseburger with fries from home. Okay, he took the car, he arrived, he parked in front of the restaurant, and when he entered the restaurant, the cheeseburger was already hot on his table. Like in that moment he entered the restaurant, he had the cheeseburger, no wait. How cool is that? Okay, and yeah. That is
Didn't
just
go through.
it's a small animation because that's the end.
But it's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, looking forward to have you in Luxembourg.
Fine.
Okay, we're done. Thank you for your
But you
patience.
can ask the guy to send the money back to you, it's zero fees. Yes, exactly. And then it opens Hive-Summit. Okay, and Hive-Summit
Can I
says
add a last comment?
you
Then I'm done, I promise. Because
propose to sign a transaction
I know
that
him since
transfers
he's
that many
always like
USD to indies.cafe with this memo. The memo is codified because otherwise it would be too long. And if you send confirm, it transfers the HPD to indies.cafe, and in the back end, they see Christine at table at table 5, for instance, has ordered this and that.
just one last comment on that application. We don't exclude 100% the human relationship with the staff. If we do need to speak to them and ask questions, or if you have specific diet restrictions, there is a call button as well on the app. Okay, great.
Yeah,
So
click on the server, click on the server, and everybody
That's all I
who is
wanted to
there
say.
will see that a waiter is called for at table whatever.
Sorin, I suggest, Sorin, I suggest that you three share one of these booths over there and finalize this discussion within probably the next 20 minutes. Until then, we are ready with the next talk. Thank you very much. Now we will have a talk which is something we have on Hive since a while, means a very interesting, different format of cleaning our lovely planet. And we got yesterday our beloved Michael Berns into the role to do this presentation. He didn't know anything about this the day before. Could you make sure that your presentation is working over there? And this is not a game we are now doing here. This describes a little bit of what we are doing tomorrow after breakfast at an historical area through that part of Aachen and Belgium where 1944 something from his book happens. So we will have a little historical walk even to a place called Zyklopensteine. This will as well explain to the people who will follow that walk tomorrow morning, together with the breakfast we will have there. And luckily, that is a place where we'll have breakfast, which is partly managed by Bernd and his team, because they have a nice location and there's a flea market around, so feel free to join us tomorrow. But this here has a message, because what we will do tomorrow is we have a nice breakfast with a good coffee, and then we walk the forest, the area over there, and collect some rubbish for the Clean Planet program. And therefore, whenever you do this, you make a post on Hive and add this to the clean. You explain it.
Here I am again. Before I get started with the presentation, for those of you who have met Norman, aka Tipfox, he's a very, very sweet guy. And it is actually his presentation that I will be giving to you today. And I remember in Graz, he held this presentation and there was this energy in the room, this deep care for the nature that he portrayed. And I'm going to try to give a piece of my heart to you guys and recreate the same environment. So, Clean Planet. Clean Planet is an initiative powered by Hive and is there to clean up the planet from all the rubbish that we have. Of course, that's not possible. We know there's a lot of rubbish, but it's there so that people can, in their own time, clean up parks, clean up the different walks around the places that they live at. It is a worldwide community, and actually, it's really simple to join and earn some rewards. The history of this project goes all the way back to 2018, which is, as we know, back then where it was called Steemit. It is run by mostly a single guy, which is pretty wild to think about. And of course, Tipfox, I think, is taking a lot of actions to promote the whole project. We already had almost 40,000 walks done by almost 4,000 unique users. Considering though that's from 2018, I would love that number to creep up towards the 60,000 to 6,000 different users, because everybody can do it. It's a simple post. All you have to do, and I'll get into it. How to join. All you have to do is collect some litter, document your progress, make a selfie, and share it to any UI that you want. Don't forget to use the hashtag #CleanPlanet. It is really as simple as that. You grab your glove, you grab the little trash picker, you go outside, collect some trash, document your journey, and make a post. This is a nice statistic to see the overall walks that were done by Clean Planet, or better said, by all the people around the world, from America, from Germany, from Africa to India, everywhere. So far, it averages about 120 Clean Planet walks every week. And the statistics go to about 500 Clean Planet walks every single month. Here we can see, it looks like quite an interesting chart, as if we're analyzing a coin. And as we can see, we're kind of going into a winter right there. So how about we pump this back up? So how can you help? What is the impact? You can free up nature from our waste. This is from us, humans. You can protect the environment, keep the animals safe, and of course, it sucks to walk through a park with litter, right? You go to a park to enjoy the nature, but if you have to stumble across bottles or cigarette butts, it's quite annoying. Be a good example. And then we can see an interesting point here, which says promote Hive. But I thought I'm just going out and collecting some rubbish. What do you mean promote Hive? Promote Hive by having a rubbish bag in my hand? That's what I thought when I was in Graz. However, when we, in a group of 30 people, had the little claws in our hands, everybody walking up the mountain and picking up the litter, it was the easiest conversation starter to people that knew nothing about blockchain, that knew nothing about Hive, and they were asking so many questions. They were so interested. They're like, what are you doing here? Who are you? Are you an organization? Are you funded? why? For what? So promote Hive is definitely something that should be up there. So please, how can you help? Do your walks, share it with your friends. And I know some of us are quite busy people, or some of us are just nerds and they like to sit at home behind their screens and they don't like to go outside. Delegate some HP. To the Clean Planet, yes.
So it's at Clean Planet in 1 word?
Thank you. Yes. Join the movement, make a difference, and of course, join us tomorrow. Tomorrow, Sunday at 10:30, we will do our Clean Planet walk. Meet us at Koekoek, border of Belgium. The location should also be on the website of the agenda. And thank you very much for your attention.
Good job, thank you. Which brings me actually to the last little panel. And I like to call Roeland on stage and as well Michael to have just a few last words about our topic. And I need to reuse my phone to see the exact wording of the last panel because I screwed it up.
We need the beamer.
No, you can switch it off. Did a good job, the old machine. Oh, cheers. I can stand.
I can stand too. Oh, we stand.
You can sit.
Possible for you? Okay.
So we all heard today a lot of what we can do with Hive, what we can do with blockchain, what businesses can do, how we might put art and other projects on the blockchain. And we as well heard, fuck, that's not so easy, and other things. So there's a learning curve, a heavy one. And it brings me to the topic, why Hive or why not? So this might be just a few words to close this event, to follow up into some more networking time and some more food will show up sooner or later. And I need all your hands and stomach to get rid of it. But I know we can do it. There are also some other groups here around and they said they will assist us if we need some help on that. So why Hive or why not? Roland, do you like to start?
Yeah, that's totally fine. So you're actually touching onto one of my personal challenges with Hive. And maybe I should not confess this, but back in the days when the social media networks got launched, oh, Twitter, oh, Flickr, oh, Instagram, post. And then there was Hive. And then was post money. Super epic. But nowadays, to me, social networks, I'm over that hill, or I don't feel like sharing that much anymore. And I'm a bit wary of the blogging on the blockchain, actually, because I'm not per se a fan of something which I write now and which will exist forever and I cannot delete. So I'm the devil's advocate here because I'm a witness of the Hive blockchain. And therefore, yes, Hive is great and I really love Hive. I love it because of the community, because of the connections we make. And I love it because of all the other features of transferring the value really easy and really fast. I just bought a book. I'm going to read it, or it's not a book, it's a comic. I'm going to read it out to my kids and maybe they understand German in a bit. But so no, I really like the blockchain for its features as a logistic vehicle of value and of data. And that's what I really love about Hive. And personally, Yeah, I tend. That's why I don't post on the blockchain. I don't. I will post. I will write a post about this. It was a great event. Thank you very much so far, Detlev and the team. I will, and I made a lot of pictures. I hope you're okay that I post you on the blockchain forever. No, and of course there is a place for it also in areas where there is maybe not freedom of speech and such. But for me personally, I will not block that much. But I stay a huge fan of Hive. So rock on, or Hive on.
Thank you. I'm also pro Hive, but I feel we have a lot of work to do. One point is I'm active in the DACH community, and as I expected here, more people from Germany, maybe Austria or Switzerland, and I expected that we all speak German and not English. So that's a point for working on to get more German people on the community, because I come from Berlin, and in my area, not so many people speak English. And if they speak English, they don't speak well English. So in my normal business, I don't have to speak English. I speak just with German customers, with German friends. So the German language is for me the key topic on the Hive community. But we are not enough people in Germany, and also a lot of posts in the DACH community were in English and not in German. So I think maybe we have to talk about. The other thing is we have today, in Germany, we have special laws on money. And as my wife works on a Finanzamt, I have these discussions what to do. And if we get more people in Germany on the blockchain and they work with money, earn money, spend money, I think we have to teach them how to do it, because the questions will come. As you know, maybe in Germany, the influencers which go to Dubai, the Finanzamt say, hey guys, we find you and we get the money back. So I think we have to do on those topics a lot of things to explain what people in Germany especially have to do if they spend money or earn money on those platforms, what to do with it, like asking the Steuerberater, asking the Finanzamt, whatever. So that's my two topics on Germany. And the other thing, as Andre told before, we have to think about what doing AI in the future with a platform. As some rules, you say no AI on a platform like Worldmappin, but everybody, I think, use AI during the normal day. And why not using AI on a blockchain platform? Because maybe the content would much better if someone who has not the writing skills to do it, so the AI can do it maybe better than a human. So we have to discuss what's going on with the AI, with AI-generated pictures, AI-generated contents, like if my video not do by myself, doing by HeyGen avatar, what we are doing with those topics on the platform. So I think that's the discussions maybe in the next years, what we have to do.
Let me answer that question directly, because AI is easy. Many people try to easy farm money by using not qualified AI posts. And to be honest, we both work in AI each day. To make a good post, you may structure your ideas with AI, and then you write it with your own words. The opposite of this is people sitting in countries where economy is bad and they earn a few cents or a little bit on fully automated AI posts. And this is what nobody wants. Nobody wants to read it if it's mainly not well written. And if it comes to travel posts, put your own empathy, put your own ideas and your own things you saw on that into this. So there is something in between. But why Hive and why maybe not Hive? So why Hive is for me, who is in social media since ages, quite simple. I've been to Google+. Gone. 25,000 users where I worked my ass off to be there, away. I started on Instagram as it started. If I look to this now, it's a place full of advertisements and stuff I don't want to see. They put information into my feed. I just don't care. And whenever I click into another topic, the AI-driven automatic stuff behind this will show me again shoes or cars or whatever, even if I only one time clicked on it. So I like to be in the role of the one who decides what I like to see, who do like to decide which people I like to follow, and then I like to see their content. We both are heavily active on LinkedIn. Whenever you go out of that, you see that your reach is getting smaller, 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 because they like you to pay to be there and have a reach. So all these are things why we need something else. Why not? It's not so easy to make this step later. It's not so easy to get into something new. Yeah, we saw many people who failed. We saw many people who getting in trouble with downvotes. You get a tiny one. There are people around, they have a trouble with some other people and they get permanently downvotes. This can happen, but this happen in real life as well. So there, we have no rules, no clear rules on this, but it might be changed. And this is something for me where I see that the community has a control about all what we are doing here, and that we have a consensus, which is with all the witnesses who might change directions into something. I'm running a little witness as well for myself, and not in a top one, but it's something you give back to the community. So for me, if I look to Hive and other things like this, I see that the positive stuff is way more, it's way more bigger, it's way more nice as the few negative impacts we have. So this is my opinion on it. Kristin, you had a question.
Thanks for not ignoring me again. I have a question directly towards this. You may all remember that I mentioned what I really, really enjoy in Hive is the positivity, the appreciation I experience there, all this positive stuff. And now you again told about this annoying Instagram and Facebook stuff we really don't like. It's shitstorms, it's fake news, it's all this. How do we prevent Hive from being conquered by, let's say, fascist communities, child porn communities, whatever rubbish that could appear? How do we prevent?
All I can say is you cannot prevent it, and it happened before. You can just do good yourself, and that's all that you can do. I mean, there are interfaces and uses of the interfaces which enable lots of downvotes and hide the comments, but yeah, anybody, that's the beauty of Hive. Anybody is free to post whatever. I mean, I remember the not a dick comments, where one guy posted thousands of comments with not a dick or something like this. But yeah, I think just by doing good, and by there are more good people in the world than there are bad people. So yeah.
And we have some people who look for the blockchain, who try to misuse it. We have Logic, a great guy who is running a service where he is looking for fake accounts and downvote it. And there are other people behind it who downvote it. Then people who try to steal money, let's use that word, don't get any money. And after a short time, they stop normally. There are other people who may misuse the system, but hey, you have this misuse in real world in any corner where someone tries to do it in his own opinion or whatever. Sonia, you had a question? Wait. We use these microphones, it works better.
It's more like a comment or a response to your concern, Michael, about taxation of users. And I'm sorry for being a bearer of bad news if most of you are not aware here, but every crypto users should be aware that going forward and starting from next year, all crypto services, crypto asset services provider in the EU, even broader than that, we have the obligation to report data information on the owners of assets being held, so on behalf of these clients, so on exchange, if you go through a custodian, if you use a Revolut account. So from next year, all these crypto asset services provider will be reporting on everyone using their services to hold cryptocurrency. So you'd better find out sooner than later what is your tax regime.
I have a question to that too. We in the break, in the lunch break, we were discussing regarding taxes. How is the earnings I receive defined? So is it like when I have to say it in Deutsch, in German? Ist es wie eine Aktie? Also muss ich Transfersteuern bezahlen? Is it like trading with Aktien? Or is it like earning money by doing a job? It's different kinds of taxes. So how is it defined when I earn money? It could be, yeah. So the question is, how is this defined when I earn money on Hive, for example?
I don't want to do a Sorin, but we can discuss that, later on. But it's all about, the starting point is to legally define what you have in your hands. It doesn't matter if it's called a token, a coin, or whatever. We have to analyze from a legal perspective what's behind it. So that's the starting point. And then depending if it's a currency, equity, utility, whatever, then the consequences will vary. But I don't want to steal your time that left, but we can discuss that another day.
No, really, tax is something we all have to pay, and from country to country there are different rules on it. Something, whenever you hold it for a year, there is no tax on it, but you have to claim it in your tax report and so on. So make sure you read what your country is asking you for whatever. It will be more clear with all the MiCA and other things we have in European countries. There are other things on little islands in Malta or little islands on somewhere else, but you don't live there. And if you try to move there, you have to be clever, because German tax people, like the boss from Michael, is as well clever. Yeah, they will find you or find something. But to be honest, we all are not in that million level. There are other people. We do little things, as far as I know. Okay. Let me close the story here. Let me close the Hive-Summit Aachen #1. Let me finish with a big thank you for Roelandp, for Michael, for all of you for being here. And let me invite you to have, look, see what's coming in? Some more food. Let me invite you to have a nice evening with some more networking here. And a big thank you again to Louis and Rivals, who are still sitting behind the live stream computer recordings. You will see a lot of posts with all the different recordings we did during the last, I don't know how many hours we spent here today. Let me say thank you to Henry joining our crazy idea. You already get some blockchain money. What does your text say? Yeah. Nevertheless, thank you for all the speakers to spend your time. Thank you for coming here, and let's have a big thank you for Sonia and Kurt, who are still hanging out and made all the food. We will celebrate them later on while we eating all this. Yeah. So let's shut down the live stream and enjoy an evening in Aachen, a little bit of networking here, and later on a beer Saturday in town.